This page is the vibrant cover of Beep! Mega Drive magazine from March 1992, priced at 480 yen. The artwork features whimsical cartoon characters, including a central figure with closed eyes and a large hat, a train chugging along a curved track, and a cowboy riding a horse in a desert setting. The cover prominently features headlines about the state of Sega hardware in '92, a full report on the Genesis Power showcased at CES, anticipation for Victor's integrated Mega CD unit, and the potential impact of Toys R Us entering the Japanese market. It also highlights the Mega CD press. The cover teases a lineup of exciting games, including Turbo Outrun, Shining Force, Treasure, Troubleshooter, Steel Empire, Road Blasters, ToeJam and Earl, Elysia Dragoon, Caesar's Ambition 2, Shadow of the Beast, MUSHA, and likely Robo Aleste, listed as Denon Aleste. Features on Mega CD titles like Lunar, 3x3 Eyes, and Detonator Orgoon are also mentioned, along with a special appendix covering Mega CD games, Cosmic Fantasy Stories, Mahou no Shoujo Silky Lip, and Deathbringer. It captures the excitement and anticipation around Sega's hardware and software offerings in early 1992. This page features striking artwork for the tactical RPG classic, Shining Force, the legacy of great intention. It showcases the main heroes, led by Max the Swordsman, alongside key party members like Luke the Warrior, Make the Knight, Ken the Knight, Teo the Mage, and a Centaur Archer, facing off against the menacing forms of the game's antagonists, including the Dark Sorcerer Darksaul and his generals. Below the dynamic illustration, the text indicates this is a Shining Force special feature or project, likely tied to a special reservation campaign for the game, which was prominently teased on the cover of this very issue. It highlights the epic scope of the game and its memorable cast of characters. This page presents a comprehensive look at the upcoming tactical RPG, Shining Force, the legacy of great intention, building on the feature from the previous page. It's described as a live Cinerama RPG that is exciting and emotional, highlighting the game's strengths. The page boasts about the strongest staff responsible for the game's system, visuals, and sound, calling it the second installment in the popular Shining series. It praises the never-before-seen game system for its speedy flow and strategic combat, suggesting it's the result of focusing on fun in an RPG. The amazing horizontal combat screen is also lauded for its visual impact, encouraging play on a large monitor. Screenshots showcase the game's turn-based battles against various foes like dark mages and centaurs. The technical details confirm it uses a 12 mega cartridge and battery backup for saving. The game is scheduled for a March '92 release, priced tentatively at 8,700 yen. A major focus is placed on a Because It's Sega reservation campaign, offering an unprecedented 50,000-person gift of a gorgeous premium book. The campaign period runs from February 1st to 29th, with specific steps involving sending postcards and visiting retailers, creating a buzz around the game's imminent launch. This page features a unique introduction using a Rorschach test, asking, "What do you see?" Different interpretations linked to states of mind, suggesting playing Planet Woodstock Funky Horror Band is the remedy for a desolate or passive spirit, while seeing the game's character indicates a healthy mind. The main focus is on Planet Woodstock Funky Horror Band, announced as the first software title for the Mega CD and the world's first musical RPG. The game follows the Funky Horror Band after they crash on Planet Woodstock, where music controls everything, as they search for their lost instruments. Screenshots show turn-based RPG combat and an overhead map view, highlighting the game's adventure aspects. The page states the game fully utilizes the MegaCreed's capabilities and is receiving rave reviews from both music and game fans. It also includes details on the Mega CD hardware itself, noting its 6 MB buffer RAM, 0.8 second access speed, 12.5 MHz 68,000 CPU, and a standard retail price of 49,800 yen, positioning it as a new dimension hyperattachment for the Mega Drive. This page features the funky classic ToeJam and Earl for the Mega Drive, highlighting the unique alien duo. The vibrant artwork showcases ToeJam with his gold chain and Earl holding a hot dog, embodying the game's cool, groovy vibe captured by the "Jammin" text. The game is touted as an impactful experience in sound and visuals, starring the two unique aliens as they get hip and embark on a grand adventure. Screenshots at the bottom illustrate the game's distinctive isometric view and gameplay style. The page also shows the Mega Drive console and includes details on the game's estimated price of 6,800 yen and its scheduled release date of March 13th. This page showcases several exciting titles from Wolf Team. At the top, we see 3 different games. First up is Soldiers, a classic shooter known from the X68000 computer, now ported to the Mega CD. It features side-view space combat with detailed, multi-jointed enemy designs, and includes an enhanced original prologue. Next is Ernest Evans, an action-adventure game with dynamic rotating character animations and intense action scenes, leveraging the Mega CreD's capacity. The third game is Spiritual Soul Century Feria, a fantasy RPG making its debut, promising dramatic battles with expanding and shrinking monsters against the backdrop of a world undergoing cataclysmic changes, released on February 18th. The main focus of the page is a game titled Isle of Load, described as an adventure RPG. The large text proclaims, "Holy Sword Shalma, unleashing brilliant light, eradicating evil." This game incorporates strong adventure elements, with tactical battles and smooth-scrolling 3D dungeons. Visual scenes employ a look-on-eye perspective and even integrate live-action elements. Character designs are handled by the renowned illustrator Haruhiko Mikimoto, with voice acting for visual and event scenes, and lengthy dialogue sequences adding to the depth. This promising title, featuring a new system, is slated for a spring release. The Wolf Team logo and address are displayed at the bottom, alongside a general March release stamp. The next page is a striking full-page feature for the Wolf Team Mega CD Adventure RPG, Isle of Load. The dominant visual is a beautiful illustration by renowned artist Haruhiko Mikimoto, showcasing several key characters surrounding a prominent sword, set against a vibrant red background. The game's title, Lord, is displayed in a large textured stone font in the bottom left corner, accompanied by its Japanese name. Building on the introduction from the previous page, this presentation reinforces the game's blend of tactical battles and exploration within smooth-scrolling 3D dungeons. Expect dramatic visual scenes leveraging the Mega CreD's capabilities, featuring voice acting and even live-action elements, all brought to life by Mikimoto's distinctive character designs. The game is developed by Wolf Team for the Mega CD platform. This page features the classic tactical RPG, Shining Force, the legacy of great intention, for the Mega Drive, set against striking artwork of a volcanic eruption. The article highlights the game's beautiful graphics, which pushed the Mega Drive's capabilities, and its increased freedom thanks to a multi-quest scenario structure. It emphasizes the strategic depth provided by the tactical battle system, and mentions a unique analog growth system that differs from traditional experience point grinding. The page includes screenshots showcasing the game. One depicts an indoor scene where the king is about to bestow the title of Warrior upon Max, a key early event. Another shows a menu screen listing main characters like Max, Ken, Arthur, and Edgar, along with their stats and magic abilities like Fireball. The third screenshot displays the tactical battle map, illustrating the grid-based combat system where players maneuver their party members against enemies on various terrain. The game is noted as being on sale, supporting an 8 megabit room and battery backup, published by Messiah and developed by NCS. This page introduces the fantasy RPG Sorcerer Kingdom by NCS, released in 1992. Set against a dramatic backdrop of a mountain landscape and a mystical sky, the page features the game's title displayed on a rolled UP scroll. The accompanying text sets the scene for the adventure. It describes a world where an ancient peace, once protected by a great king, is now threatened by monsters and growing calamities that are overwhelming adventurers. The story follows the son of a renowned but missing adventurer named Kanan, residing in the town of Landale. Having yearned for this day, the young man approaches the castle gate on his 16th birthday to gain the king's permission to become an adventurer himself. His goal is to find his father and ultimately surpass him. The guards grant him entry, allowing him to proceed toward the king. The text concludes by stating that a new adventure, carved by the player, is about to begin. The page focuses entirely on introducing the game's premise and setting, offering a glimpse into the world and the protagonist's motivation. This page is dedicated to the incredibly unique action platformer, Shadow of the Beast. It opens with striking artwork and large text proclaiming everything about the game is superb, hinting at a world that is neither entirely beast nor human, accompanied by a sad rhapsody. The Japanese subtitle translates to Law of the Demonic Nature, giving a darker edge. Below the title, you see stunning screenshots showcasing the game's signature parallax scrolling, alien landscapes, grotesque creatures, and the protagonist, Arbron. The text highlights the game's expansive and ever-changing stages, filled with over 100 different monsters. It emphasizes the game's breathtaking graphics, movement, and color palette, achieved through advanced scrolling technology. It clearly states this is a challenging action game, with difficult traps and puzzles across its 6 stages, requiring a high level of skill to master. It's presented as a game recommended with confidence for dedicated action game fans. The Mega Drive version is announced for release in late March at a price of 8,800 yen, utilizing an 8 meters cartridge. There's also a note that a PC Engine Super Chronodrom Squared version is coming soon. At the bottom, there's a brief mention of Prince of Persia coming to the Mega CD, promising amazing character movement and dangerous traps in its labyrinthine levels, hyping it as an exciting action-adventure game due out soon. This page focuses on the Van Tan Computer School, highlighting its program to become a game software creator as the fastest route to success in the industry. The page features a grid of images displayed as if on computer monitors, showcasing the diverse creative outputs from the school, including intricate maze designs, various digital art pieces like a dinosaur and fantasy landscapes, and graphics referencing the classic RPG series YS, with Ancient YS Vanished. You also see photos of students actively working on computers and portraits of key figures involved in the program, from students to lecturers, like Mr. Moria. The text emphasizes the high demand for skilled game creators and positions the school as the place to gain the necessary superpower. The page also provides information about upcoming admissions events, such as mock entrance exams, final consultations for enrollment, and announcements regarding additional recruitment for various creative specializations offered, including game software, multimedia, sound, and CG/VR creation. This page features promotional artwork for the Sega Mega Drive game Sengoku Simulation Tenka. Roar of Heroes 1. Developed by GameArts. The main focus is the game title, dramatically rendered in fiery kanji against a dark background. Below the title, the subtitle, Roar of Heroes, is displayed in white text. The page includes 3 small screenshots offering glimpses of the gameplay. One shows a battlefield view with armies clashing, specifically highlighting a confrontation between historical figures Oda Nobunaga and Imagawa Yoshimoto. Another screenshot displays a map of Japan, indicating territory control and providing information about Oda Nobunaga's domain, including his forces and resources in the year 1556. The third screenshot shows a regional view with details about the Date family, suggesting the game is a deep strategy simulation set in the Sengoku period of Japanese history. This page features the Sega CD strategy simulation game, Sengoku Simulation Tenka. Roar of Heroes, developed by GameArts. The striking artwork displays the game's title, Tenka Fubu, in large, fiery brushstrokes against a dark background, hinting at the intense conflict of the Sengoku period. The page highlights key features of this ambitious title. Over 1,200 historical warlords are included, each with individual graphics and family crests, emphasizing the game's detail and scope. It proudly announces the inclusion of live-action video for the opening and ending sequences, a feature leveraging GameArts' technological capabilities at the time, and a hallmark of the Sega CD platform. The game itself is noted for its massive size, utilizing 130 megabits, with the live-action video contributing significantly to this capacity, equivalent to 97 old 8-megabit room cartridges. Furthermore, the game features CD-quality music, enhancing the historical atmosphere. 2 small screenshots provide a glimpse into the gameplay. One shows a successor selection screen within the Oda family, displaying portraits and stats like charm, military, and politics for potential candidates, illustrating the deep management elements. The other displays a map view with character dialogue, showing a warlord making a strategic boast, indicative of the diplomacy and character interactions central to the simulation. The game was available for a standard price of 7,800 yen, excluding tax. This page showcases the striking cover art for the classic Sega CD role-playing game, Lunar, the Silver Star. The illustration depicts the game's protagonist, Alex, heroically wielding a sword against a monstrous, tentacled entity, while the heroine, Luna, appears to be ensnared by the creature's tendrils. The scene is set amidst turbulent waters, suggesting a dramatic confrontation. The large, prominent title Lunar is displayed below the artwork, followed by the subtitle, The Silver Star, highlighting the game's epic fantasy setting and central narrative. The artwork was created by Toshiyuki Kubuka, and the game was a joint production by Game Arts and Studio Alex, a collaboration noted at the bottom of the page.
This page presents a dramatic full-page illustration promoting the Sega CD classic role-playing game, Lunar, the Silver Star. The vibrant artwork captures a tense moment as the protagonist, Alex, sword in hand, confronts a monstrous entity emerging from the water, while his companions Mia and Nash react to the danger. The text accompanying the illustration paints a vivid picture of the game's atmosphere, describing hidden threats, terrifying beasts, and the courageous spirit required of the young adventurers. Below the artwork are 4 small screenshots showcasing gameplay, including the world map, a combat scene, exploration within a village, and a watery area, giving a glimpse into the game's traditional RPG mechanics. The page clearly states the game is exclusive to the Mega CD and developed by Game Arts. This page presents the Sega CD title Nostalgia 1907, framed as a Mega CD novel that aims to surpass typical games and approach the quality of cinema. The central image is a captivating illustration within a porthole, depicting scenes related to a ship, suggesting a mystery or drama set on the high seas. The accompanying text highlights the game's gorgeous sound, refined visuals, subtle psychological portrayals, thrilling suspense, and commitment to realism, positioning it as an intellectual challenge and a dramatic experience that marks a new era in gaming. The game is part of the Sur de Wave Mystery Series and is being promoted as a grand screening in progress. A special campaign is mentioned, offering original playing cards to the first 500 customers who return the enclosed survey postcard. The game's price, including an original soundtrack CD, is listed along with the developer/publisher Take-Ru, operating under the Sur de Wave brand. This page features Koei's grand sea adventure simulation game, Uncharted Waters, Daikukai Jidai, highlighting the upcoming Sega Mega Drive version. Presented as the second installment in Koei's Rikoishin game series, it promises exciting and thrilling exploration, treasure hunting, and discovering unknown lands. The page displays pixel art representations of key locations players will visit, including the guild for items, the pub for information and recruiting, the trading post for managing finances, the palace for meeting royalty, and the inn for rest and gathering rumors. These illustrations are accompanied by brief descriptions of their functions within the game. A large, dramatic illustration of a person in period attire dominates the center, capturing the adventurous spirit of the game's setting. The Mega Drive version is scheduled for release in April 1992. Featuring an 8 Mega Room cartridge with battery backup, priced at 11,800 yen. The page also mentions existing versions available for Famicom and various PC platforms, along with details about strategy guides and a soundtrack CD. This page showcases Koei's flagship historical strategy series, focusing heavily on Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2. Dominating the visual is a striking illustration featuring iconic characters from the era, setting the tone for this grand simulation game. The page highlights the game's release on home consoles, specifically the Sega Mega Drive and Super Famicom, both priced at 14,800 yen and featuring battery backup for saving your progress. A PC Engine's CD-ROM² version offering enhanced audio is also mentioned at 17,200 yen. Screenshots give a glimpse into the game's strategic map view and battle system. Beyond the core game software, Koei presents a range of related merchandise, including strategy guidebooks, historical novels, comics, a card game, and even soundtrack creeds for both Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2 and the Nobunaga's Ambition series. This illustrates Koei's deep dive into expanding its popular franchises into various media formats. This page showcases Koei's historical strategy epic, Nobunaga's Ambition, Lord of Darkness, highlighting its release across multiple platforms including the Super Famicom, Famicom, and Sega Mega Drive. The page features a striking main illustration of Oda Nobunaga, setting the scene for this grand simulation game of conquest and diplomacy in feudal Japan. Screenshots provide a glimpse into the game's strategic map interface and battle displays. The console versions are noted to include battery backup, a crucial feature for saving progress in these deep strategy titles. Beyond the game itself, Koei offers a wealth of related merchandise, including detailed guidebooks, historical novels, a card game, and official soundtrack creds, demonstrating their commitment to expanding the Nobunaga's Ambition universe. This page features dramatic artwork for the Sega Mega Drive game titled Bad Omen, known internationally as Devilish, The Next Possession. The illustration depicts a surreal landscape with floating rock fragments,
and bolts of lightning against a stormy sky. A large, luminous blue planet dominates the upper portion of the image, while a strange, decaying mechanical structure, seemingly held by a classical female figure, floats above a mountainous terrain. The structure is embedded with glowing pink orbs. The game's Japanese title, FLA, is displayed prominently at the bottom. The top left corner shows the standard MD Mega Drive logo, along with text indicating that the product is licensed by Sega Enterprises for use on the Mega Drive console. This page appears to be a promotional piece designed to showcase the game's dark and fantastical visual style through its striking cover art, rather than providing gameplay information or screenshots. This page showcases dramatic artwork for the Sega Mega Drive game titled Bad Omen, known internationally as Devilish, The Next Possession. The striking illustration depicts a surreal, crumbling world with a fallen figure, floating debris, and a distant castle under a stormy, lightning-filled sky. The advertisement highlights the game's beautiful graphics and realistic sound, describing it as a vertical and horizontal scrolling block shooting game. Players must control a celestial sphere to defeat the Dark God, a task given to those who have turned into stone pillars. Key gameplay features include 3 changing paddle formations, an intense stock and time system, 3 ways to play, single-player, time trial, and 2-player co-op, and a multi-ending system that varies with difficulty. The page includes 2 small screenshots showing the block-breaking action. The game was scheduled for release in April at a standard price of 6,800 yen. It was published by Hot B. This page introduces Sims Corporation's efforts to expand the frontiers of gaming on Sega platforms. It highlights upcoming titles and showcases 3 current or near-future releases. Emergency News reveals new games in development, including an RPG titled Vi, and an enhanced arcade quiz simulation for the Mega CD, planned for December and August respectively. The Mega Drive is set to receive an Outrun title reimagined by the original staff, slated for September. A large section focuses on the soccer game, World Cup '92 for Mega Drive, featuring vibrant artwork and a screenshot of the match view. It emphasizes realistic characters and gameplay modes, like the World Cup tournament, practice, and simultaneous 2-player matches. The game is already on sale. Of the Game Gear, 2 titles are presented. Alien Syndrome, an action game, is illustrated with a dynamic scene and features screenshots of the top-down gameplay. It promises 5 eerie stages, a labyrinthine map, and a timed objective, scheduled for release on March 19th. The other Game Gear title is Heavyweight Champ, a boxing game depicted with character art, highlighting a 4-opponent elimination battle, fighter growth, and a selection of 5 boxers. This title is also currently available. This page is dedicated to Mahou no Shujo Silky Lip, a magical girl game coming to the Mega CD from Riot. It's presented as Lip Newspaper Volume 3, introducing key characters like Lip herself, her helper Ketcha, the strict but kind guardian Otake Shake, and the stylish Dom Otake. The page also features a look at the battle screen, describing the command-based combat system where Lip and her rival, Isabella, face off. It highlights animated battle scenes and the expression of magical chants through voice. There's a section on the theme song recording session, noting the song changes based on the in-game scenario and features visuals alongside the music. Finally, the page announces the game's release is scheduled for March at a price of 7,400 yen and promotes a fan appreciation present campaign from Riot, offering original goods to 250 winners. This page features a look at SD Valis, a parody action game from Telenet Japan that shrinks the characters from the popular Valis series into super deformed sprites. The game is structured across 5 stages, each containing normal action segments, a boss battle, and specific act sequences. Controls are straightforward, focusing on shooting, jumping, and using power-ups, making it accessible while still offering depth. After clearing stages, you'll see visual scenes that help advance the story. Interestingly, the magazine notes that despite the cute appearance, the game's difficulty is surprisingly high, staying true to a common perceived characteristic of the series. A key element is acquiring new weapons and armor, dropped by defeated enemies. These can be changed on the fly via a selection screen. Weapons alter attack power and patterns, including options like standard shots, a widespread, homing missiles, and a powerful 3-way shot, which is highlighted as the most effective. Armor affects defense and movement speed, allowing players to tailor their loadout. The visuals include screenshots of gameplay, boss encounters, and character portraits during cutscenes, illustrating the deformed style and action.
This page is dedicated to the Mega CD port of the X68000 RPG, Deathbringer. The header proclaims it a majestic port from the X68000 version, with the subtitle, The Secret Crest. The main artwork features a Dark Knight character wielding an axe, set against a fiery landscape, hinting at the game's fantasy dungeon crawling theme. The game is presented as a tense, 3D RPG, featuring exploration through 3D map dungeons and outdoor areas. A key feature highlighted is the representation of enemy distance, where foes appear small in the distance and grow larger as they approach, creating a sense of impending danger. The combat system utilizes a skill system rather than traditional job classes, where characters grow based on their weapon and magic proficiency, allowing for flexible character development, like becoming a magic swordsman. The visuals have also been significantly enhanced for the Quadrom version, featuring new cutscenes overseen by Kazuhiro Ochi, bringing the game scenes to life. The page also includes small card-like images displaying in-game scenes and character portraits, illustrating the game's graphical style and visual elements. Scheduled for release in March with a provisional price of 7,400 yen, Deathbringer is part of Telenet Japan's Riot brand lineup. There's also a section promoting a Riot Fan Appreciation Present Part 2 campaign, offering prizes related to other Telenet titles like Silky Lip, Mirai Shonen Conan, Cosmic Fantasy, and Valis. This page previews the action platformer SD Valis, a super deformed spin on the classic Valis series. It covers the first 3 stages, starting with the familiar human world in Stage 1. The game begins simply, but players quickly gain the wide shot and chain dress after defeating the first mid-boss. A large boss appears unexpectedly later in the stage. Stage 2 moves the setting to the dream world, and the difficulty ramps up. The Valis suit boosts attack but makes movement trickier, suggesting tactical armor changes are needed. This stage involves vertical progression, with enemies sometimes appearing from above. Mid-bosses include fierce creatures, like a dinosaur-like beast. By Stage 3, the game boasts vibrant backgrounds and improved weapon, armor, and life options, offering more combat variety. However, enemy attacks also become more challenging. The mid-bosses featured are a sinuous dragon and a strange mechanical biological hybrid, both requiring focused attacks on their weak points. This preview gives a good overview of the early game structure and key challenges players will face. This page previews the chibi platformer SD Valis, detailing stages 13, enemies, bosses, and gameplay tips for the early levels. This page features an advertisement and preview for Cosmic Fantasy Stories on the Sega Mega CD. It's a compilation bringing together the first 2 games in the series, Cosmic Fantasy and Cosmic Fantasy II, Adventure Boy Band, onto a single CD. The game boasts a revamped system for improved playability, over 1,500 visuals, speedy, no-loading battle scenes, and a new opening movie specifically for the Mega CD version. The artwork prominently features the main characters, the adventurer Ban and his childhood friend Lala from the second game, and the cosmic hunter Yu, along with the magic user Saya from the first game. Screenshots show character portraits and the game's isometric battle scenes. Cosmic Fantasy II follows Ban's quest to rescue Lala from the villain Garam. Cosmic Fantasy centers on Yu, a cosmic hunter, getting caught in a trap and ending up on a planet threatened by the demon Princess Morgan, whom he must stop with Saya. The game was scheduled for release on February 28, 1992, priced at 7,800 yen. The page also promotes a campaign by the Riot brand, a division of Telenet Japan, offering original telephone cards for collecting points from their products. Other games participating in this campaign include Magical Girl Silky Lip, Deathbringer, Mugen Senshi Valis, on PC Engine Caredrum Squared, and Future Boy Conan, on PC Engine Caredrum Squared. This page dives into the lighter side of the popular Valis series, with a preview of SD Valis. Departing from the more serious tone of the main games, this title presents the iconic heroine, Yuko AHSO, and various enemies and allies in an adorable, super deformed, SD style. The artwork features a cheerful chibi Yuko surrounded by a cast of equally cute, yet still menacing, foes and allies, hinting at a comical take on the Valis universe. The game is described as a shocking or hilarious action game, promising a fun and enjoyable experience that contrasts with the usual challenges of the series. It highlights Yuko's transformation from her usual cool self into a cute warrior and teases the appearance of strange boss characters. Published by Laser Soft, a brand of Telenet Japan,
the same company featured on the previous page with Cosmic Fantasy Stories. SD Valis was released on February 14th, a Friday. The overall message is that this spin-off offers a light-hearted, comical adventure, perfect for enjoying the world of Valis from a different perspective. This page showcases the Tennis Tournament 92 Grand Slam, a tennis simulation title from Telenet, scheduled for a March release on the Mega Drive. Following Telenet's quirky SD Valis, this game appears to be a more serious take on sports. The vibrant illustration depicts a player celebrating a hard-fought victory on the court. Details highlight several game modes: a player mode for creating and tracking original players via password, a practice mode for skill development, a match mode offering singles and doubles play, and a tournament mode where you can compete in the 4 prestigious Grand Slam events. The game is noted as a 4 megabit cartridge and was priced at 6,800 yen. It promises the excitement of intense matches reaching the pinnacle of tennis history. This page serves as the table of contents for the March 1992 issue of Beep Mega Drive, detailing the exciting content within. It kicks off by catching you up on the latest software in the new release scramble, featuring games like the unique SD Valis, the simulation to train, arcade racers, Turbo Outrun, and Paperboy, the classic strategy title Uncharted Waters, Slime World, the intense Alien Soldier, Shura no Mon, and Magical Taruto-kun. Next up is the B Mega Hot menu, delivering in-depth looks at major releases. Part 1 covers the beloved strategy RPG Shining Force, Battlemania, the shooter Steel Empire, the arcade port Road Blasters, and the funky ToeJam and Earl. Part 2 dives into the action platformer Alien Soldier and the atmospheric Shadow of the Beast. The magazine features a special report pondering the resilience of the Mega Drive even as the economic bubble tightens, alongside a special interview celebrating the console's energy in '92. For Mega CD fans, there's the Mega CD Press, previewing upcoming titles such as Lunar, Dark Wizard, 3x3 Eyes, Detonator Organ, and Power Strike 2. Other sections cover news, reader contributions, industry insights, Sonic updates, and technical lectures. Plus, there's a separate appendix dedicated to Mega CD games like Cosmic Fantasy Stories, Magical Girl Silky Lip, and Deathbringer. Visuals include screenshots from what appears to be Shining Force and a driving game like Road Blasters. This page presents a detailed look at the sales data for Sega software. The first section highlights the Mega Drive software sales top 10. It features a mix of popular cartridges and the latest Mega Drive CD titles, indicating how the new CD format is integrating into the market. Quackshot starring Donald Duck takes the top spot, noted as a strong sequel to previous Disney titles. Other high-ranking games include the fighting game Fighting Masters, the shooter Solfease, available on both formats, the action-adventure Ernest Evans, and the classic beat-em-up Golden Axe 2. The commentary touches on the unique aspects of each game, like the smooth robot movement in Heavy Nova, or the music theme of the Sega CD title Wakusei Woodstock Funky Horror Band. It seems the holiday season saw intense competition across formats. Below that is the Game Gear Popular Software Research section, focusing on the handheld's top sellers. Sonic the Hedgehog is the clear leader, demonstrating the character's immense popularity across Sega platforms. Other entries include Ariel, Crystal Legacy, the RPG Eternal Legend, Donald Duck's Lucky Dime Caper, and Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse, showing a healthy mix of genres finding success on the portable system. The section notes the recent boost in popularity for Game Gear and hopes it continues. This page shifts focus from sales data to user desires and arcade popularity, providing a different perspective on the gaming landscape. The user data section presents the results of a poll showing the top 20 games that readers want to see ported to the Mega Drive. Topping the list is the arcade phenomenon Street Fighter II, highlighting the strong demand for accurate fighting game conversions. Other high-ranking desired ports include games like Princess Maker and Record of Lodoss War. The page features exciting screenshots and commentary on titles that have actually been confirmed for porting, such as Speedball 2 and Afterburner 2i, celebrating these upcoming releases. Below, the shop data section offers a look at the top 5 most popular video games currently found in arcades, according to shop surveys. This reflects the current trends in arcade gaming.
Street Fighter II also ranks high here, further emphasizing its dominance. The section showcases screenshots of notable arcade hits like Solvaloo and Fly One Exhaust Note, giving readers a glimpse of what's hot outside the home console market and potentially what future ports might bring. It seems like fighting games and high-fidelity arcade experiences are heavily on the minds of both players and shops.
This page presents the User Data Anticipated New Games Top 20, showcasing the upcoming Sega Mega Drive and Mega CD titles readers are most excited about. Topping the list at number 1 is the highly anticipated RPG, Lunar, the Silver Star, for the Mega CD, despite its reported release delay. Following closely at second is the tactical RPG Shining Force, which is finally nearing completion and generating significant buzz for its late-game surprises. The third spot goes to Seima Densetsu, 3x3 Eyes, a Mega CD RPG based on the popular manga, while Ayrton Senna's Super Monaco GP2 secures 4th place, timed perfectly with the start of the fun season. Rounding out the top 5 is the action game Alicia Dragoon, sparking interest regarding the prominence of its lead character. The rest of the top 20 includes a diverse mix of genres, featuring action titles like Splatterhouse Part 2 and Shinobi 2 Wine, Return of the Ninja Master, racing games such as Power Drift and Turbo Outrun, and more RPGs, including Dark Wizard for the Mega CD. This list clearly indicates reader enthusiasm for a wide range of new experiences coming to the platform, with particular excitement surrounding the potential of the Mega CD system. This page presents the new soft schedule, detailing upcoming game releases for both the Mega Drive and the Game Gear. The Mega Drive section lists a wealth of titles, including games that were highly anticipated in the reader poll like Shining Force, Alicia Dragoon, Ayrton Senna's Super Monaco GP2, and Seima Densetsu 3x3 Eyes, now appearing with planned release dates. It's a packed schedule covering multiple genres, from action and RPGs to sports and simulations, showing strong support for the console well into the year. The Game Gear also has a schedule featuring titles like Phantasy Star Adventure, Wonder Boy and Monster World, and a Game Gear version of Ayrton Senna's Super Monaco GP2, indicating Sega's commitment to its handheld counterpart. In the editor's commentary, it's noted that while the market seems volatile, some games from previous lists have unfortunately vanished. However, publishers like Tengen, Kaneko, Sega, Sims, and Technosoft are actively developing behind the scenes. The anticipation is building, and they predict a seriously hot summer ahead for gamers. This page is a SoftMaker information section, acting like a message board where different developers and publishers share updates and news. It's laid out in distinct boxes for each company, accompanied by a charming illustration of a monkey enjoying some afternoon tea. You get direct insights here. Sega apologizes for a canceled game, but promises big things like Shining Force are coming. RIOT. Japan Telenet is hammering away on Mega CD titles such as Cosmic Fantasy Stories and Deathbringers. Tengen is dropping a highly anticipated, limited grun port of the arcade classic Road Blasters. Victokai is hyping their unique shooter Battlemania, while Micronet is bringing back the historical simulation ambition of Caesar 2, and has Heavy Nova available. Messiah teases the poignant shooter Grayson, and CSK Research Institute makes a bold, hot-blooded declaration about this year's lineup, claiming a title will surpass Galaxy Force 2. GameArts announces that the long-awaited Alicia Dragoon is finally complete, and is set for a spring release. PCM Complete, new to the scene, reveals a partnership with the Bitmap Brothers, known for Gods, and are developing original games. Wolf Team sends good wishes and mentions their Mega CD RPG, Rashin Sekai Feieria. Compile is working hard on the Mega CD title Robo Alesti, and Sims outlines their plans for multiple MD and Mega CD releases, confidently stating their quality rivals major developers. It's a snapshot of the excitement and development brewing behind the scenes, promising a strong year ahead. This page kicks off the BeepMD race section, framed as a useful guide for picking up new releases. The main event features reviews of 2 games released in February. First up is Minato no Trazia, Trazia of the Port, an RPG from RIOT Japan Telenet. Released on February 14th, it's described as a romantic RPG following childhood friends growing up in a port town. Reviewers noted a unique atmosphere compared to typical fantasy RPGs, but found the interface awkward and the battle tempo slow, deeming it a bit of a waste of potential. It scores moderately. Next is Crude Buster,
known internationally as Two Crude Dudes, an action game from Data East released on February 28. This beat-em-up is highlighted for the exhilarating feeling of throwing enemies and objects around, a key feature of the arcade original. The unique presentation and theatrical moments were praised. Reviewers found some parts challenging but felt the sheer fun, especially in two-player mode, made up for it. It scored well, particularly recommended for stress relief. The left side features contributions from 4 staff members: Mayumi Okada, Koji Oix, Superman Barome, and Uncle Jam, sharing personal insights and updates. There's also a brief explanation of the review system, detailing that 4 reviewers contribute scores from 1 to 10, with an average shown by dog icons, and the overall rating considers the distribution of scores. This page continues the BeepMD race review section, highlighting 4 more new releases. First up is Battlemania, a fantastic horizontal shooter from Vic Takai, featuring cute anime girls piloting mechs. Reviewers found the core gameplay standard, but the over-the-top presentation and unique direction made it a standout, though some noted it could be quite intense. It's described as a B-movie cult classic with solid mechanics and great boss designs. Next is Road Blasters, a port of the arcade driving/shooting game from Tengen. This game focuses on high-speed action, where you blast other cars and obstacles. Reviewers enjoyed the sense of speed and cool style, finding the stage clears exhilarating, but some felt it could get a bit repetitive. It's recommended for arcade fans. Following that is Ambition of Caesar 2, the sequel to the real-time simulation game. This iteration is noted to be quite different from the first, feeling more like a Populous-style game. The convenient multi-window system is highlighted, especially with mouse support. However, reviewers felt the strategic depth was lacking, and the battles were too simplistic. Finally, there's SD Valis, a super deformed take on the popular Valis series. Reviewers felt the character deformation didn't significantly change the core Valis experience, and suggested a more comedic approach might have been better. While the character designs were questionable, the boss designs were praised. It's considered a game primarily for existing Valis fans, lacking depth and feeling a bit dull otherwise. This page continues the review section, starting with Steel Empire, a fantastic retro-style shooter. Reviewers praised its stunning graphics and sound design that evoke old films, noting the impactful demo scenes. However, the core gameplay was seen as too conventional, not fully utilizing the impressive presentation. The game scores an average of 7.25. Next is Pocket Mahjong, described as a decisive mahjong game from Namco. While providing a standard mahjong experience and being easy to pick up, reviewers found it lacked novelty, and the Game Gear screen was tiring for long sessions. The battle opponents were a highlight, but the quest mode was repetitive. It received an average score of 6.25. The editorial summary reflects on the month's releases, recommending Crudebuster as the top pick. Steel Empire is also highlighted as a solid title despite some drawbacks. They note that Ambition of Caesar 2 is more accessible than its predecessor, and Battlemania is a must-play for fans of eccentric shooters. The BeepMD Reader's Race Volume 12 presents a community ranking of Mega Drive games. Nostalgia 1907, a CD adventure game, ranked 4th with an 8.5 reader average, praised for its engaging story. Ruler of the Chaotic World, a strategy game, placed 5th, lauded for its strategic depth and fast-paced battles. Rolling Thunder 2, an action game, secured 16th with its enjoyable, albeit challenging, gameplay and effective two-player mode. Fighting Masters, an action game, ranked 24th, recognized as a decent fighter but criticized for graphics and repetitiveness. Blockout, a puzzle game, placed 69th, noted for its addictive gameplay despite clunky controls. The rankings also highlighted a drop in rank for Shining in the Darkness, and that anticipated titles like I Love Donald Duck and Golden Axe 2 received average scores. This page continues the BeepMD Reader's race rankings, showing games from 46th place downwards in the odds table B. It also highlights several notable titles in the New Game Review and Single Hit sections, including reader comments. In the New Game Review section, Quackshot starring Donald Duck appears at 31st place, praised for its graphics and variety but criticized for difficult puzzles. Golden Axe 2 is ranked 38th. Reviewers liked its intro but found the main game content lacking depth compared to the first. The Single Hit section features Ninja Gaiden, the strategy game adaptation, at 34th. Despite good presentation, some felt it was too short. Sulfice, a Mega CD shooter,
is ranked 60th. Noted positively for its enemy animation, driven by the CD hardware. Reader comments across the page offer brief opinions on various games listed in the rankings and elsewhere, reflecting the diverse experiences of the magazine's readers with their Mega Drive libraries. This page continues the reader's race rankings with odds table C, listing games from 96th place downwards. It also features the new old games that missed the mark section, highlighting titles that didn't fare well with readers. This month features Thunder Force at 138th, a shooter where readers found the graphics somewhat underwhelming, but the boss fight challenging, and Fantasia. Mickey Mouse Magic at 139th, criticized despite its high anticipation for its difficulty and quickly depleted magic. The page also includes recruitment for readers to participate in the race by submitting game reviews and scores, offering John Madden Football 92 as a prize. There are also 2 prediction contests, one asking readers to guess the final ranking of Super Fantasy Zone, and another asking for predictions on the average score of Nobunaga's Ambition, Lord of Darkness for the Mega CD. Finally, the editor's summary reflects on the 1-year anniversary of this section, noting that this month was the first time only new games were featured in the rankings. They also mention plans to expand the section to 4 pages in the future, and hint at upcoming titles like M.U.H.A, Circus, an F1 game, and Nobunaga's Ambition appearing in future issues. This page brings big news for the gaming world. The main highlight is the announcement of Nintendo's Super Famicom Crendrom adapter, set to launch in Japan and the US simultaneously in January of the following year. Priced at 27,000 yen, it's noted as being cheaper than the Mega CD, boasting 8 megabits of RAM to enhance 3D processing capabilities, and includes a built-in coprocessor. This marks a significant move towards the Crendrom era, which the article notes as already seeing releases like the PC Engine Crendrom and the Mega CD. Images show both the Super Famicom and a Mega CD setup. Another interesting piece of news is Namco's plan to open an urban theme park in Fudokotama Gawen, Tokyo, on February 29th. This park will feature attractions like Galaxian 3, an exhibit related to the International Exposition, and the Dora, the Super Game Ride. An illustration shows the park's layout at night. Finally, there's a report about the Sega Genesis appearing in a Doris Motorola pamphlet promoting their 68,000 chip. The pamphlet uses the Genesis, a console synonymous with the 68,000, to demonstrate the chip's power, specifically featuring the image titled The Knockout. This highlights the Genesis's reputation in the US market. This page covers recent developments in game music. Takake Yukihide, formerly of Godiego, is entering the scene with his score for Soul Blazer. Nanba, a Falcom composer, is releasing a compilation CD of classic Falcom tunes, composed without computers. New releases include albums from Pony Canyon, Outrun, Ninja Warriors, a Satron compilation, and a perfect selection for Twinbee from King Records. Konami's Twinbee and XEXEX are also being released in video format. A game music concert, Game Music Fantasy, featuring Dragon Quest composer Koichi Sugiyama and conductor Milton Kratz, is planned. Finally, Sega is launching Sega GP, a competition based on high scores, and Koei is releasing Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2 merchandise, including a card game. This page features new arcade video games, covering racing, shooting, sports, and variety titles. First up is Stank's new Neo Geo sports game, Football Frenzy. It focuses on American football with simplified rules and detailed player reactions, offering a visually rich experience. Next, from Sega's 32-bit series, is F1 Exhaust Note. This racing game features a communication system for linked play, realistic car sounds, and an immersive cabinet designed to replicate driving. Players race against each other over various courses. Human is set to release 2 new games this spring. Mad Dancing, a fighting game featuring characters like Raiden and Joe Sawamura, and Front Row, a split-screen 3D F1 driving game offering intense racing action. Finally, UPL presents the hardcore shooting game Kutetsu Yusai Strahle. Praised for its high-level graphics, sound, and responsive controls, it's highly recommended for shooting game enthusiasts. Screenshots show impressive bosses and flying fortresses. The page also includes a call for readers to submit their favorite video game recommendations. This page kicks off with a new release scramble, highlighting several upcoming titles including A-Train MD, Turbo Outrun, Paperboy, Rampart, Uncharted Waters, Slime World, Bat Omen, Shura no Mon, and Magical Talutokun. The main focus is on A-Train MD, a deep simulation game where you step into the shoes of a railway company president, tasked with expanding your rail network across a continent while avoiding bankruptcy. The game runs in real time, adding pressure to your strategic decisions. You'll need to design track layouts, manage your company's finances, and foster urban development around your stations. The page showcases screenshots illustrating track design on a map, the detailed company management screen, and the city growth that occurs as a result of your railway. The reviewer notes that watching the town develop is rewarding, but warns players to be vigilant about train collisions and financial stability, as either can lead to a game over. This is definitely one for fans of complex simulations. This page dives deeper into Turbo Outrun, featured under the new release Scramble banner. This is the highly anticipated Mega Drive port of the arcade hit, which serves as a sequel to the legendary Outrun. While the core checkpoint racing against the clock remains, Turbo Outrun significantly scales things up. The most striking change is the race itself, spanning a cross-country journey across America, starting from New York and heading towards Los Angeles, with branching paths along the way. A major new addition is the turbo engine, allowing players to hit blistering speeds up to 350 km per hour to blast past rivals. However, this immense power comes with a strategic drawback.
Excessive turbo use will cause the engine to overheat, temporarily disabling the boost. The game also features varied and dynamic course presentations, with environmental effects like snow and rain impacting visibility and handling, and obstacles adding further challenge. Screenshots showcase the game's title screen, a cross-country course map, the transmission selection, the turbometer and overheat warning, and glimpses of diverse stages including snowy and uphill sections. The overall impression is a tuned-up, more expansive, and intense driving experience compared to the original Outrun. This page provides a deeper look at Turbo Outrun, highlighting key features that expand upon the original. The game introduces 3 tune-up parts: a high-power engine for speed, high-grip tires for cornering, and a special turbo, which players can acquire by reaching specific checkpoints along the cross-country journey. The game features an expansive race across America, divided into 15 distinct courses, each offering varied landscapes and challenges, from city streets and deserts to snowy roads and night driving, providing a rich visual experience as seen in the numerous screenshots displayed. Adding to the challenge are rivals and police cars that actively try to impede your progress. A notable rival is a white car, and if you fall behind it, a blonde woman, previously your passenger, will switch to ride with the rival car at the next checkpoint, adding a competitive twist. The page also touches on bonus features, including a high-score ranking system and a configuration mode that allows players to adjust the difficulty across 5 levels. The band S.T.Band is also mentioned as having contributed to the game's music. This page showcases Turbo Outrun's increased depth with tuning, diverse stages, and more active opponents, making it a significant evolution from its predecessor. This page features previews of 3 diverse games coming to the Mega Drive. First up is Rampart, a popular arcade and NES title from Atari, a medieval battle simulation where you defend your territory against invaders by building walls and placing cannons, incorporating strategic and puzzle elements. The Versus mode is highlighted as particularly intense. Screenshots show the gameplay setup and a striking game over screen featuring a guillotine. Next is Paperboy, another Atari game originally released in '85. This action game puts you in the shoes of a newspaper delivery boy navigating suburban streets filled with unpredictable obstacles, like cars, animals, and people. Success over a week leads to a bonus stage. The game features 3 difficulty levels. Screenshots display the isometric perspective and various scenes from the game. Finally, there's Uncharted Waters, a port of Koei's acclaimed PC title. Set in 16th century Portugal, you take command of a fleet to build your legacy. The game is a rich simulation of exploration, trade, diplomacy, and naval combat, featuring a vast world map affected by seasons and currents, real-time interactions, and a dynamic scenario system. Activities in port, like recruiting crew, gambling, and gathering information, are plentiful. Screenshots show the world map, a naval battle, and interactions in a tavern. This page previews 2 distinct Mega Drive titles. First up is Slime World, a unique action game ported from the Atari Lynx, supporting up to 2 players simultaneously. You control Todd, exploring a bizarre world composed of slime. A standout feature is the protagonist's vulnerability. Touching slime or enemy remains causes him to dissolve, necessitating a quick cleanse in water to survive. The game spans 6 stages, offering a splendid, dirty, and frightening adventure, with helpful introductory demos before each stage. Screenshots illustrate the distinctive gameplay, the stage selection menu with English text, and the dynamic split screen for 2 players. Pictured below is Breakthrough, a game praised for reimagining the block-breaking genre. Unlike typical titles confined to a single screen, this game features vertical and horizontal scrolling, intricate stage layouts, and introduces boss battles. Described as a horror-infused experience, it takes you through 7 stages, with locations like a graveyard and clock tower. The game supports time trials and 2-player co-op, adding to its replay value. Screenshots display the varied environments and demonstrate how Breakthrough innovates within its genre. This page previews upcoming Mega Drive titles. First is Shura no Mon, described as a fighting simulation rather than a traditional fighting game. It blends adventure game elements with command input battles featuring protagonist Koryu 99. The focus is on story progression and animated combat sequences, departing from typical fighting game mechanics. Below that is Magical Taruto-kun, an action platformer based on the popular manga/anime series. Players control Taruto, utilizing various magic items like the sword pen, in colorful, cartoonish environments. The game promises graphics faithful to the source material and features distinct character designs. The final section quickly covers more upcoming games. This includes Grand Slam, a tennis game, and Satoru Nakajima F1 Hero MD, a 3D-enhanced F1 racing title. It also mentions several arcade ports from Tengen like Paperboy and Rampart, alongside Steel Talons, a polygonal vehicle simulation planned for a year-end release. This page features this month's discussion, focusing on what Mega CD software should be like. The main image shows a Mega CD setup on a desk, emphasizing the hardware itself. Various contributors offer their opinions. Some argue that the Mega CD, with its high specs, is perfect for arcade ports, and developers should leverage this strength. Others believe the system needs a wider variety of software beyond just games, suggesting non-game applications like databases to utilize the Crydrom's large storage capacity and the Crypu's power. The discussion also touches upon the importance of developers being flexible and incorporating user feedback. Features like backup RAM and potential online capabilities via modem for exchanging character data and conducting automated battles are highlighted as ways to enhance gameplay and prolong game life. A key point raised is the need to establish quality standards for Mega CD titles, pushing the system to offer unique experiences and graphical enhancements not possible on standard cartridges, making features like graphical variations a basic expectation. The theme for the upcoming May issue is also mentioned. Finally, the page concludes with a brief overall review of Mega CD software and a question about whether now is the right time to purchase the system. This page features BeepMD, a section dedicated to reader contributions, including game reviews and illustrations. The Game Talk segment presents reader feedback on various titles. One reader discusses F1 Circus MD, praising its speed and graphics over the PC Engine version, but criticizing its tuning system, the limited number of races, slow computer opponents, and poor tire strategy. Another reader finds an F1 GP game too difficult, noting issues with qualifying and AI speed. Both suggest improvements could make future titles better. Moving to Mega CD, readers review Tenka Fubu, acknowledging its lengthy development and calling it a significant work worth playing despite high difficulty. Another Mega CD title, Wakusei Woodstock Funky Horror Band, receives mixed reviews. Its animation and musical aspects are praised, utilizing the CD format well, but the battle scenes are found lacking, and content is reportedly missing. The page also includes reader-submitted illustrations, featuring characters and scenes from games like Phantasy Star and Ayrton Senna's Super Monaco GP. A question and answer section addresses a gameplay issue in I Love Donald Duck, Goin' Quackers. This page features BeepMD, a reader section titled Things I Want to Say to the Industry. Readers voice opinions primarily regarding Nintendo and Sega's strategies. One reader reacts to Nintendo's Crydrom announcement, questioning its timing and necessity for the Japanese market, while noting Nintendo's significant profitability compared to Sega's sales numbers. Another discusses Nintendo's planned Keydrom price and specs relative to the Mega CD. Critiques are also directed at Sega. One reader feels Sega is too slow or lenient in their approach. Another criticizes the selection of overseas software ported by Sega and Microworld, specifically calling out games like Sword of Sodan, Stormlord, and Spider-Man, suggesting that sports games would be a better focus, given the strength of Genesis sports titles. The page includes reader illustrations, featuring characters from games such as Fighting Masters, Nostalgia 1907, and Turrican. There's also an illustration of a creature likely related to the Wakusei Woodstock Funky Horror Band, discussed on the previous page. A small section features a reader playfully asking Sega to release Moondancer and Castlevania on the Famicom, NES. This page is another installment of BeepMD, featuring the Bin Bin B Mega Focus section, where readers share their discoveries and opinions. One reader submitted real-life racing photos that strikingly resemble the packaging art for Super Hang-In, leading the editor to confirm the riders are indeed famous GP 500 racers Wayne Gardner and Eddie Lawson, suggesting they were the models for the artwork. This reader won the monthly grand prize for this submission. Another submission highlighted the artwork for Blaze from Streets of Rage, Bare Knuckle, package art, noting its similarity to illustrations by manga artist Tsukasa Hojo, a fact the editor confirms. The page also includes comments on other game-related topics, such as a floating character image potentially related to Mushia Aleste, which the editor mentions was recently re-released. There's also a humorous exchange about a previous issue's discussion of a character resembling Gilyasan from Golden Axe, concluding it's just a Viking grandpa. This section continues the focus on reader observations and insights into the world of Sega games and their influences. This page continues the BeepMD section, starting with Gomen Nasai for the February issue, offering corrections for previous errors, including misidentified titles in the schedule for Splatterhouse and Battlemania, and a photo error for 3x3 Eyes, Legend of the Divine Demon on Mega CD. The page also features a humorous 4-panel comic strip titled MD Kun, and reader comments, including one referencing Sega's Phantasy Star series, and another about the Mega CD. Following this is a detailed guide on how readers can submit content to BeepMD, outlining various categories such as free thoughts on playing Mega Drive games, comments directed at the game industry, observations and discoveries related to games or the B-Mega Focus section, questions for B-Mega or third-party developers, complaints about games or the industry, and illustrations of MD Kun. Finally, the page announces the winners of the January issue's prizes. These include various Sega games like Ninja Gaiden, Exile, Heavy Nova, Quackshot, Aerial, and Sonic the Hedgehog for Game Gear, as well as Dragon Quest postcards, a Mega CD console, and other Mega Drive software, listing the winners by prefecture and name. The address for future submissions is provided at the bottom. This page features a column by Jam Oji-san, discussing the state of the TV game industry and the strategy for the Mega CD. He notes that while the Mega Drive itself has momentum, the overall market feels stagnant, despite rising average software prices. He attributes this slowdown to a lack of major hit titles and companies releasing too many games without a strong long-term vision, as illustrated by the graph showing peak releases concentrated in December for year-end sales pushes. Jam Oji-san argues that the Mega CD needs to drive the entire market forward, not just the Mega Drive base, by releasing strategic original masterpieces. He highlights Lunar, the Silver Star from Game Arts, as a highly anticipated RPG title that represents the kind of quality and strategic importance needed for the Mega CD's success. The page includes screenshots from Lunar, showing character sprites on a map, and what appears to be a character portrait or scene, emphasizing the use of animation and voice acting possible with the Klydrom format to enhance the game experience. This page features an advertisement from the Sega specialty store, Santa, highlighting their offerings and recommended games for early 1993. The banner proclaims excitement for Shining Force's release in March. Santa provides lists of new releases from January to March, including their top 10 picks like Shining Force, Solfis, and Turbo Outrun, along with prices and dates. It is also a comprehensive listing of games available for the Mega Drive, Game Gear, and older Mark II-I/Master System, categorized by price point. The store lists hardware and accessories for these systems as well. Notably, they mention the Mega CD and some of its software, but its price is marked as unknown at the time. The store also presents a list of their top 20 best-selling hits, featuring popular titles like Outrun, Golden Axe 2, and Sonic the Hedgehog. Ordering information and shipping details are provided for those wishing to purchase by mail. GameBank advertises its mail order and retail store, specializing in games for Sega Mega Drive, Mega CD,
and Super Famicom. The ad highlights anticipated releases like Shining Force and upcoming titles with prices. Mega Drive selections include Shining Force, Thunder Force IV, and various other titles across genres. The Mega CD section showcases games like Cosmic Fantasy and Lunar, with pre-orders accepted. The Mega CD console itself is also available. Super Famicom games such as SD Gundam X and Final Fight Guy are also featured. The advertisement provides mail order instructions, payment methods, shipping fees, and a map to their Tokyo store location. GameBank aims to be a go-to source for Sega and Nintendo console game enthusiasts. This page features a mail order service focused on delivering the true value of games with fast, reliable service, promising release day delivery for pre-orders and next day delivery for orders placed by 3 p.m. exclusively for their members. It covers software for Super Famicom, Mega Drive, Famicom, and PC Engine CD-ROM Squared, along with the PC Engine CD-ROM Squared console itself. Highlighted Super Famicom games include SimEarth and Castlevania IV. The Mega Drive section features titles like The Revenge of Shinobi, Joe Montana 2, and Rent a Hero, along with a note teasing the start of production for a new Cotton game for MD and MCD. Famicom titles listed are from the Koei series, like Romance of the Three Kingdoms and Genghis Khan, plus others like Mario Open Golf. The PC Engine CD-ROM Squared library includes games such as Shockman 2i and Gate of Thunder. The service also offers a premium phone line providing game information, covering popular titles based on magazine reviews and store reservation data. The advertisement is valid until March 5th. This page continues the mail order service, presenting a wide selection of software and even some console hardware across multiple platforms, from Nintendo, Sega, NEC, SNK, and more. You've got everything from Super Famicom hits like Soul Blazer, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, and Final Fantasy IV, alongside Mega Drive gems such as Sonic the Hedgehog, Streets of Rage, and Golden Axe 2. They also list Mega CD titles, including Ernest Evans and Rent a Hero, plus a strong showing for the PC Engine with games like Parodius and CD-ROM Squared titles like Gate of Thunder. For the dedicated collector, there are even Game Boy, Game Gear, and Neo Geo listings featuring titles like Metroid 2 and King of the Monsters. Prices are clearly listed next to the titles, including tax. The page outlines the simple phone-based ordering process and notes that they only handle new items, with prices subject to change based on market conditions. This service seems like a great way to get your hands on the latest releases and some classic titles directly. This page is announcing an exciting event. A game music fantasy orchestral concert, presented as something enjoyable for the whole family, diving into the world of game music and fantasy. It features performances by the Tokyo City Philharmonic Orchestra, conducted by none other than Koichi Sugiyama, the legendary composer behind the Dragon Quest series, who will also be giving a talk, alongside conductor Milton Kratz. The concert promises to perform the latest game music hits, plus a Disney medley and other pieces. It's scheduled for February 23, 1992, at the NHK Hall. Tickets were available starting December 10, 1991, through major ticket outlets like Ticketpia. This looks like a fantastic opportunity to experience iconic game scores brought to life by a full orchestra. This page showcases a selection of books published by SoftBank, catering to enthusiasts of fantasy, RPGs, and even pinball. The first book, RPG Fantasy Encyclopedia, serves as a guide for RPG fans, delving into the mythical and medieval roots that inspire role-playing games, covering the origins of monsters, weapons, and armor. The second, RPG Fantasy Encyclopedia, Japan Edition, supervised by Takeo Iijima, focuses on Japanese fantasy drawn from ancient texts like the Kojiki, providing details on characters, gear, and more for games set in a Japanese context. RPG setting material, Magic Kingdom Simulist, offers resources for aspiring game masters and creators, providing ideas and foundations for world building, character design, jobs, and items, featuring an intriguing cover depicting a sword. Finally, Pinball Graffiti, described as Japan's first pinball book, explores the history of around 180 pinball machines from 1965 to 1988, featuring essays by prominent figures like Haruki Murakami and Koichi Sugiyama, alongside historical and practical pinball content. These books offer deep dives into the lore, mechanics, and history of fantasy and gaming culture. This page is the start of the Be Mega Hot menu, Part 1, highlighting upcoming and featured games. The index lists games covered, including Shining Force, Treishija, Caesar's Ambition 2, Battlemania, Troubleshooter, Steel Empire, Road Blasters, and Toe Jam and Earl. The main focus is on Shining Force, the legacy of great intention. Set for a March 20th release, the page provides a preview of the game's impressive opening sequence and delves into the content of the first chapter, titled The Invasion of the Rune Faust Armies. Screenshots showcase the cinematic intro and early gameplay, introducing characters like Basilius and highlighting training elements. The article notes the game's structure across 8 chapters and points out that players will start their adventure in Guardiana Town. It also confirms the game supports 3 save data slots, giving players ample opportunity to track their progress in this highly anticipated RPG. The tone conveys excitement for the game's launch and prepares players for the epic journey ahead. This page continues the preview of Shining Force, the legacy of great intention, focusing on the early stages of the game. It highlights the start of your adventure in Guardiana Town, noting that while seemingly peaceful, a royal command prevents leaving the city. The article encourages exploring the town, mentioning various establishments like the church, item shop, hotel, and bar, and suggests listening to people's conversations for clues. Screenshots show navigating Guardiana, interacting with an item shopkeeper, and visiting the tavern. The narrative then moves to Guardiana Castle, located north of the town, where knights are training. Players are advised to ignore the unfriendly knights and proceed to the king. A conversation with King Guardiana reveals suspicious activity at an ancient castle gate east of the city, and tasks the player with investigating it. The page then introduces the first 5 companions who will join your force: Ken the Knight, Lug the Warrior, Teo the Mage, Hans the Archer, and Lo the Healer. These diverse characters offer different skills needed for the exploration. A screenshot shows the status screen interface, allowing players to check their party's stats. Finally, a screenshot depicts the start of the journey outside Guardiana, signaling the beginning of the quest to investigate the ancient gate. The next page dives into the initial battles of Shining Force, the legacy of great intention. The first section covers the battle at the ancient castle gate. After arriving by carriage, you encounter Rune Force knights searching frantically. A sudden earthquake occurs, opening a chasm, and battle ensues. The guide emphasizes protecting the main character, particularly against dwarves. It highlights that, although there are many weak enemies, defeating the Rune Knight commander is key to ending the battle, so focus fire on them. A one-point note mentions that battle animations cannot be skipped, so take your time and enjoy them. The second battle described is the return trip to Guardiana. Concern for the town arises, but the earthquake has changed the terrain, forcing a detour. The strategy here is to scatter the Rune Force. Movement is slow in the mountain areas. The guide recommends using ranged attackers like Hans to damage the goblins from a distance before finishing them off. Hans and Tao are noted as particularly useful in this fight. Finally, there's a tip about a mountain hut. This hut functions like a church, allowing you to resurrect fallen party members. A character named Gong is found outside. This is a crucial spot to recover after tough fights. This page continues the Shining Force, the legacy of great intention guide, covering events after the Guardiana attack and the next battle. The guide shows Guardiana Town in ruins, following the Rune Force's assault. Inside the castle, the powerful leader Cain confronts Cerverios before leaving. Following this, the king discusses the situation, and May, the knight's daughter, joins the team, proving to be a crucial addition. The third battle sees the force heading towards Alterone. The map for this battle is large, and the guide highlights the fast-moving oak bats as a key enemy to watch out for, suggesting smart positioning. It also confirms that Gort, a strong centaur character, will join the party for this fight. A helpful tip is given regarding character defeat and the reset button. Constantly resetting when a character falls is discouraged due to the penalties associated with revival. Screenshots show the ruined town, the castle scenes, the world map, and various units including May, Gort, Rune Knights, Oak Bats, and Dwarves in combat. This page continues the guide for Shining Force, focusing on the arrival and events in the town of Alterone. Despite the recent attack on Guardiana, the residents of Alterone seem surprisingly unconcerned and peaceful, dismissing warnings about the Rune Force. The town offers standard services, including a rather underwhelming weapon shop and a tool shop. There's a fortune teller who won't tell your fortune, and a fishing master lamenting his wealth. You can also find a priest to save your game. The town also serves as your headquarters location. Upon entering Alterone Castle and speaking with the king, you are led to the basement, expecting something positive. However, the guide reveals a shocking turn. The basement is filled with Rune Force members, including Kane, suggesting the king is complicit or controlled. This confrontation leads to a battle where you must defeat the king and his forces. After the fight, Chip aids in escaping the castle. The guide also mentions Ryan being recognized, likely a hint about a character joining the party or being involved in the plot. The page ends with the team ready for the next move after the battle is complete. This page continues the Shining Force guide, detailing the battle in Alterone. With the Rune Force hunting Guardiana members, the town is in peril. While a confrontation with Kane seems likely, he is called away, leaving weaker enemies like snipers and dark mages. The guide advises splitting the force, particularly near the central river, calling it an ideal strategy and highlighting the use of Tato's magic on Rune Knights. Handy tips include the ability to save mid-battle and the 4-item limit per character. Following the battle, true peace returns to Alterone. The townspeople finally understand the threat of the Rune Force, and even the king, confessing he acted under their influence for what he thought was the town's good, seems reformed, though unable to offer aid. The guide then points the way forward, through a passage leading towards Rindo and an ancient castle, hinting at a new world and challenges ahead. Finally, the legendary character Yogurt makes a long-awaited appearance. A screenshot shows him near the ancient castle gate, looking out at the sea. The text notes this is a rare glimpse of Yogurt, whose habits were previously unknown. He reacts when spoken to but doesn't talk, simply returning to his serene pose by the water. The guide teases his potential role as a future advisor for the forces of light. This page introduces the Sega Mega Drive RPG Minato no Trazia. Described as a romantic RPG, the game begins with the protagonist leaving his lover, Trazia, in his hometown port city to embark on an adventure filled with various events. The page then delves into the game's initial scenarios. Scenario 1, titled Expose the Lord's Conspiracy, serves as the introduction. It starts in the town of Ceylon, where the protagonist learns of monsters attacking people in a nearby forest. However, the guide reveals this isn't a simple monster hunt. The town's lord is orchestrating events to lure strong individuals into a trap-filled cave where he eliminates them. The protagonist forms a party with other adventurers recruited by the lord for the fake monster hunting mission. They discover the lord's treachery in the cave and must escape to expose him to the townspeople. They gain a new companion, a good magic user who was betrayed by her mentor, an evil magic user named Floyd, who is allied with the lord. The scenario concludes with a confrontation against the treacherous lord and the evil magic user. The page includes various screenshots showing the game's isometric view dungeons, character portraits, and battle scenes. This page continues the look into the Mega Drive RPG Minato no Trazia, detailing the second major scenario titled The Thousand Rai Kingdom. The objective here is to prevent an impending war between two large desert nations. The adventure takes the protagonists to a gypsy village in the desert, where they learn about the conflict between the nations of Ayube and Ryudo, causing fear in the surrounding communities. Investigating further, they uncover a conspiracy involving attacks blamed on the opposing side. Their search leads them to a suspicious cave, where they confront attackers. But upon leaving, they are hit by a powerful curse. After recovering, guided by a wise man, they hatch a drastic plan, temporarily abducting the princes and princesses of both kingdoms to shock their fathers into negotiation. This bold move, combined with the efforts of the young royals themselves, successfully brings the two nations back from the brink of war. The true mastermind is then revealed to be Ayube's military advisor, who instigated the conflict to serve his own ends. He flees to a shrine in the North Desert. The scenario culminates with the party pursuing the advisor to the shrine, where they face off against powerful magic users waiting inside. The page showcases screenshots of the desert world map, cave exploration, character interactions, and various battle scenes, highlighting the tougher enemies encountered in this desert region compared to the first scenario. This page dives deeper into the world of Minato no Trazia, exploring more scenarios and key game features. Scenario 3 takes the party to the City of Adventurers, which is part of a unique layered city, combining various districts like merchant, magic users, and thief towns. A central conflict involving the king and nobles creates a tense atmosphere. The main event here is the loss of a vital pendant received from Trazia, leading to a desperate search through the different layers of the city, which eventually pulls the heroes into the royal and noble dispute. Accessing different areas requires keys unique to each district. Scenario 4 shifts the setting to a small northern village in a snowy region, once known for its magic. Recent strange occurrences are happening. Upon arriving, the party encounters a wounded man, whose story hints at evil magic being used, prompting the group to venture further north. The page also highlights the game's graphics as a major selling point, showcasing beautiful visuals used in important scenes and flashbacks, enhancing the romantic feel of the story. Battle visuals for magic, including fire and ice spells, are noted for their impressiveness. The battle system is described as turn-based, where players move characters on the map with a cursor to initiate combat upon contact, though magic and items can be used from afar. Success relies on predicting enemy movements and timing attacks effectively. Players can also develop unique character formations to counter different monsters.
This page shifts focus to Ambition of Caesar II, a simulation game from Micronet. The feature highlights its groundbreaking use of a multi-window interface on the Sega Mega Drive, which was rare for console games at the time, contrasting it with common PC interfaces. Upon starting the game, a multi-window menu appears, allowing players to select game modes, choose maps, with distinct maps for 1P and 2P, adjust difficulty, access the sound test, or load save data. An arrow cursor is used for navigation. The game offers 3 modes: 1-player, 2-player, and campaign. There are separate maps for 1P games, 20 maps, and 2P battles, 24 maps, offering variety for multiplayer matches. Difficulty can be set across 5 levels, ranging from very easy to very hard. Players can also access a sound test to listen to the game's music and load progress from one of 2 save slots. The article notes that the real-time simulation nature means the computer can be quite fast, suggesting that new players might benefit from starting with 2P matches to get comfortable with the controls before facing the AI or tackling the campaign. This page delves deeper into Ambition of Caesar II, specifically highlighting the crucial differences in the game screen between 1P and 2P modes. While 1P mode offers a comprehensive view of the entire map, 2P mode utilizes a split screen, dividing the display into left and right sections. This limited field of vision in 2P requires players to be vigilant, constantly checking their opponent's movements by scrolling the map. A significant focus of this page is on mastering the game's multi-window interface. The real-time nature of the simulation means enemies act immediately upon starting, so organizing the windows efficiently from the outset is essential for quick command execution. The article stresses that key windows, particularly the command and unit list, are vital for gameplay. It recommends expanding the unit list window to quickly issue orders to increased troop numbers and positioning windows so they do not obstruct the main game view, suggesting stacking them at the edge of the display.
Learning to effectively manage these windows is presented as a key strategy for success. This page expands on the core gameplay mechanics of Ambition of Caesar II, focusing on the crucial unit list window and the initial battle maps. The unit list is vital for controlling your forces, displaying each unit's number, whether it's a commander, indicated by a star, its size using a bar graph, and most importantly, its current action shown by an icon. Icons like feet mean the unit is moving, a tent means it's waiting, a construction icon means it's building, and a sword means it's attacking. Mastering the interpretation of these icons is key to coordinating your strategy. The page also offers strategic advice. As your town grows and troop numbers increase, building frontline bases becomes essential for victory, achieved by eliminating enemy units and structures. Remember that buildings can only be constructed on flat terrain, and establishing defensive lines is wise later in the game.
4 initial maps for 1 pair play are presented. These maps are designed to be relatively simple for beginners.
Map 1 features a critical central plane where early control is vital. Map 2 has a port to the rear, emphasizing the importance of securing the main flat area. Map 3 offers defensive advantages thanks to a river flowing near your starting position, while Map 4 is characterized by a river that divides the map, limiting the battlefield and influencing deployment strategy. Understanding the terrain and strategic implications of each map is crucial from the start. Battlemania, Troubleshooter, is a side-scrolling shooter developed by Vic Tokai, notable for its unique style. The game, featuring simple controls, tasks players with guiding Mania through 5 stages. The reviewer praises its solid shooter mechanics, distinguishing it from generic titles. Players control Otori Mania, Madison, and utilize Haneda Maria, Crystal, as a helper character with forward/backward shooting abilities. The gameplay involves a life meter, a charge gauge for Maria's special attack, and item drops for power-ups like power-up, speed-up, and extra lives. Surprisingly, continues cost 100 yen. Enemies, and the placement of speed-down items, add challenge. The next page dives into the mechanics of Troubleshooter, focusing on the powerful superweapons, called probes. Players can choose one at the start of each stage. These probes are described as flashy and powerful, and crucially, they have unlimited uses, encouraging players to deploy them freely. 4 types are detailed. Thunder, which clears the screen with electromagnetic power. Wiper, a laser shield effective on boss weak points. Gamer, launching large energy balls for massive damage up close. And Missile, firing multiple piercing homing missiles forward. The page also introduces the key supporting characters and the main antagonist. We see Colonel Patch, the player character's superior, who provides instructions. There's the King of the Assembly Kingdom, noted for his good personality and odd Japanese. The Crown Prince is the mission objective, having been kidnapped by Don Morgstein. Don Morgstein himself is the villain, the head of the secret Anagram Trading Company, and a notorious merchant of death, whose true identity is unknown. Stage 1, the Under the Guard shopping street, is highlighted as the starting point of the mission to rescue the Crown Prince. The description mentions the stage background might be based on a real location in Tokyo's Oda Ward. Screenshots show gameplay in this urban environment and introduce the stage boss, a large red robot. The next page details stages 2 and 3 of Troubleshooter. Stage 2, the Underground Lair, sees players infiltrate Don Morgstein's base, a former Japanese military ruin. This stage is noted for tricky terrain and enemies from the Anagram Trading Company attacking from all angles, with the recommendation to use the Thunder Probe. The boss is a pipe-firing construction robot. Stage 3, the exterior of the Gigaflops, has players pursuing Don Morgstein onto his giant flying fortress. Here, the mission involves looping around the ship, destroying numerous turrets in a classic shooter setup. The stage features unusual robots and propellers, before culminating in a battle against the ship's power source boss. Overall, the article praises Troubleshooter's robust gameplay and shooting action, guaranteeing its quality. It covers the initial stages but encourages players to experience the later parts themselves, even highlighting the unique Continue screen. The next page presents a vibrant advertisement for Taito's impressive lineup of games released for the Sega Mega Drive. Prominently featured is a declaration of Taito's Mega Drive series' 13 consecutive releases. Let's get playing, highlighting their strong support for the platform. The page showcases box art for 13 different titles, including classics like Saint Sword, Space Invaders 90, Thunder Fox, Rainbow Islands, Darius 2, The New Zealand Story, Volfied, and Hard Blow, known as Final Blow in Japan, alongside other notable games such as Master of Weapon, Malritsuden, Growl, Runark, Fire Mustang, and Rastan Saga 2. The visual design includes a somewhat humorous image of a man tangled in rope, accompanied by a message encouraging perseverance in both gaming and studies, emphasizing that nothing comes easy from the start. This page serves as a comprehensive look at Taito's extensive contributions to the Mega Drive library during this period. This page presents a striking calligraphic design, with the central message rendered in bold strokes. The large vertical text reads, Jinsei Ganmen no Renzoku, which translates to, life is a series of struggles, or perhaps more provocatively, life is a series of gunmen. This phrase is framed by the smaller text in the upper right corner, declaring it, quote, Kongetsu no Kami no Koe, or, the voice of God this month. Located at the bottom right is the familiar Mega Drive logo alongside a standard legal disclaimer, confirming the product's license from Sega Enterprises. Despite featuring the console branding, the page itself contains no game screenshots, specific character mentions, or details about particular titles. It appears to be a recurring commentary or philosophical segment within the magazine, offering a reflection on the challenging nature of life, perhaps drawing a parallel to overcoming difficulties encountered in gaming, rather than discussing a specific game or series like a Gunman title. This page dives into the futuristic yet nostalgic world of Steel Empire, a horizontally scrolling shooter set in a steampunk-inspired alternate reality. The game pits players against the militaristic Motorhead Empire, using technology for conquest. The magazine highlights that the game, released by Hot B, allows players to choose their aircraft for each stage, a key point for adapting tactics. 2 distinct planes are featured. the Itopirica, suited for ground attacks with its forward and downward bombing capabilities, and the Zeppelin, designed for air combat, moving slower but being more durable and difficult to destroy. Gameplay tips include the importance of utilizing both front and rear firing options, noting that while you can't shoot both ways simultaneously, deciding which direction to fire in the moment is crucial. The page also explains the level up system, where collecting X items increases your level, though losing a life will reset your options but maintain your level. Screenshots show the various stages, featuring detailed industrial landscapes, airships, and enemy formations, illustrating the game's unique visual style and intense aerial combat. This page continues the breakdown of Steel Empire, focusing on stages 3 and 4. Stage 3, titled Floating Fortress and Air Battle Above, sees the player confronting enormous enemy fortresses and battleships high in the sky. The opening scene features a stern command to attack the enemy, known as Jelmvern, and leave none alive. As you battle through waves of enemies appearing from all directions, you'll need to level up your options to survive. The boss for Stage 3 is a colossal battleship, specifically highlighting its massive rear section as the target. A truly daunting challenge, demonstrating just how big this thing is. Moving on to Stage 4, avoid enemy attacks and fly low over the sea. The action shifts to coastal combat. Your mission is to infiltrate enemy territory from the Republic towards the Empire, and take out coastal gun emplacements. The magazine recommends the Itopirical aircraft here, perfect for its ground attack capabilities needed to destroy the gun batteries lining the shore. However, be warned. Aerial enemies will attack relentlessly, so don't get too focused just on the targets below. The boss of Stage 4 is a tricky submarine that initially appears as just a periscope, then shows more of its hull, before ultimately taking to the air to attack. The Zeppelin is noted as having a tough time against this particular foe. This page details Stage 5 of Steel Empire, titled Arrival at the Imperial Capital BeepMD. The stage begins with the player arriving at the enemy capital under the cover of night, only to find their own carrier immediately attacked. Forced to launch in an emergency, the player witnesses the destruction of their base and begins a solitary battle. The initial part of the stage involves intense combat over the illuminated city. As the stage progresses, the fight moves to the starry night sky in pursuit of enemy forces. Interestingly, the massive giant battleship encountered as the boss in Stage 3 reappears here as a regular enemy, a surprising challenge before facing the actual boss. The Stage 5 boss is another enormous battleship, but this one employs difficult-to-evade electric wave attacks that limit the player's movement. To defeat it, you must find and destroy the vulnerable core hidden within its hull. The destruction of the carrier underscores the player's isolated mission from this point onward. The next page dives into Stage 6 of Steel Empire, the Ganjin Fortress. Following the enemy commander who fled the capital, the stage begins at dawn, with intense attacks from both ground vehicles and air enemies, making for a challenging opening. The reviewer notes the freedom to change your aircraft type remains. The fight then takes an unexpected turn, moving inside a massive rocket artillery structure. This part features a unique diagonal downward left scroll, something rare in shooting games. You navigate through giant structures, described as obstacles, some needing destruction to pass. The boss appears once these initial sections are cleared, a large artillery platform that barrages you from multiple turrets. Upon completing Stage 6, a cinematic sequence plays out. Your ship descends into the barrel of the colossal gun. The gun loads a projectile, then fires with a massive tremor, launching your ship directly into space, setting the stage for the final confrontation. The side panel teases that the area after the launch has a completely different feel, leaving the final stage as a surprise. This page features the game Road Blasters. Originally popular in American arcades, this Sega Genesis version combines racing and shooting gameplay for an exhilarating experience. The core gameplay is straightforward. Drive fast, shoot down enemy vehicles and turrets, dodge obstacles, and manage your fuel. Controls are kept simple, focusing on steering and adjusting speed. The page illustrates the flow of the game, showing screens for the start, checkpoint, which refills fuel, engaging enemies, avoiding hazards, and reaching the goal. The key mechanic is passing checkpoints before your fuel runs out. Crashing into enemies or getting hit reduces fuel, so vigilance is required. However, your car is equipped with a laser cannon, allowing you to destroy obstacles and enemies. The article also highlights the game's 50 different waves, which are essentially levels. It explains that enemy placements, items, and obstacles are fixed for each wave, encouraging players to learn their layouts. Interestingly, The game allows you to start from waves 1, 4, or 11, and after clearing wave 11, you can warp forward 4 waves at a time. The page shows examples of wave 1 and wave 2, noting the initial waves are simple, but difficulty increases quickly, with more enemies and hazards like mines. Road Blasters challenges players with collecting items and avoiding obstacles. Essential items include fuel capsules, with blue providing a small boost, and rare red capsules offering a significant refill. Players must dodge obstacles like mines, fuel loss, oil slicks, spinning, indestructible cars, and turrets. Supporting aircraft drop temporary weapons, the Uzi cannon for rapid fire, the cruise missile, explosion and invincibility, the nitro injector, speed boost, and the electro shield, complete invincibility. As the game progresses, the difficulty increases. Later waves introduce new threats. Wave 5 features ramming motorcycles. Wave 9 adds complex curves and unbreakable cars, emphasizing shooting. And Wave 11 is a challenging early course with tricky corners. This page features ToeJam and Earl, detailing the Mega Drive release of the classic Funk Lord adventure. It introduces the alien duo who crash land on Earth and must search for parts of their spaceship scattered across various levels. The game can be played solo, or, famously, in 2-player split-screen co-op. Players navigate layered maps using elevators to find the 10 missing ship pieces. The content highlights the game's unique charm and the option to play in a random world for a different experience each time, or a fixed world. There are also screenshots showing the player selection screen, who, and the game mode options. What? A bonus feature called Jamoot is also showcased, allowing the characters to dance to different tunes selected from a song list. The page captures the game's quirky style and focuses on the core gameplay loop and cooperative elements. This page dives deeper into the mechanics of ToeJam and Earl. It explains the on-screen display elements, the life bar, current level, rank, which increases with points, and remaining lives. The core objective is to find the 10 missing spaceship parts, which are scattered across the layered maps. Players navigate between levels, using elevators, or by falling off the edge, sometimes with unpredictable results. The full map view is also shown, helping players see their current location and the overall layout. Presents, the game's items, are crucial for survival. Their effects are initially unknown but become identified after the first use. The page also touches on some of the quirky enemies encountered, like the grumpy shopping mama and dancing hula girls, and the importance of managing the life bar by finding good food, while avoiding the bad stuff that makes you say gross. Finally, it shows an image of the fully assembled Funkmobile spaceship and touches upon ranking up. This page features a special report on Sega's strong performance, despite the economic downturn, titled, "Even if the bubble bursts, the Genesis won't." The article highlights Sega's recovery, particularly in overseas markets. It's presented as a 3-part feature focusing on the console electronics show, Lysis, the impact of Toys R Us, and the intriguing integrated Sega CD console. The page includes photos from CES, showing individuals with the Sonic the Hedgehog mascot. There's also a section dedicated to Toys R Us, featuring images of the Geoffrey the Giraffe mascot with executives and the store exterior, emphasizing affordability and availability. Finally, the article previews the integrated Sega CD model, described as a mysterious machine. Overall, it paints a picture of Sega's success and future prospects with the upcoming CD technology. This page continues the report on Sega's strong performance, focusing on the Consumer Electronics Show, CES, held in Las Vegas. The article highlights the massive turnout at CES, featuring attendees from various industries and the public. It reports on Sega's significant presence, noting that their Genesis system has gained market share over the Super NES, citing a 6-to-4 ratio in Sega's favor, suggesting Sega has finally overtaken Nintendo in the US. While the highly anticipated Sega CD was not demonstrated, the Sega booth showcased an abundance of Genesis games. The report emphasizes the continued impact of Sonic the Hedgehog on Sega's success, attributing their recent momentum to the mascot's popularity, coupled with strategic moves like a price cut and comparative advertising against Nintendo. Photos show the Sonic mascot interacting with attendees at the bustling Sega of America booth. The article contrasts game preferences between Japan and the US, suggesting that in America, action and shooting games, labeled as SHT, are more popular than RPGs. It notes that games like Sonic the Hedgehog, Afterburner, Terminator, Alien, Lemmings, Splatterhouse, Toki, shown with a screenshot of its ERS version, Juju Densetsu, and Valis garnered attention, while even sports games like boxing and baseball were surprisingly popular with adults. The overall tone reinforces the idea that Sega and the Genesis are thriving in the US market. This page continues the report from CES, shifting focus to the state of gaming in America beyond just Sega's presence. The article highlights that in the US, action and shooting games are particularly popular, noting that successful arcade titles like Final Fight and Street Fighter II are huge hits, much like in Japan. The report observes the prevalence of stand-up arcade machines in American arcades, showcasing popular examples like Afterburner, Hang-On, Space Invaders, and Pac-Land. It also touches on the high cost of playing some newer arcade games, noting that $4 a play seems steep compared to the standard 25 cents. However, the most significant news on this page is the unexpected announcement of the Super Famicom Crudrom system, revealed simultaneously in Japan and the US during FISIS. This system, developed in collaboration with Sony on the project known as PlayStation, was priced at 27,000 yen. The article notes the surprise timing of the announcement and predicts it will be a major talking point in America. Photos accompanying the report show the Super Famicom console and controllers, hinting at the future possibilities with the Crudrom attachment. The CES report explores the evolving landscape of the video game industry, particularly focusing on the differences between Japanese and Western game design. Japanese games are noted for polished graphics, sound, and predictable narratives, while Western titles often prioritize unique gameplay over visual fidelity. This contrast extends to arcade environments as well. The report highlights the impact of overseas software on Japan, especially with CD-ROM technology emerging. Sega, with its Mega CD, Genesis CD in the US, aims to expand its global presence. Anticipation builds for the US release, mirroring the Japanese software lineup. Compatibility challenges between the Genesis and Mega Drive, stemming from past licensing issues, are discussed. The article also considers the potential for simultaneous software releases. The report includes images of the CES show, the Sega booth, a potential Mega CD game screenshot, and a Game Gear peripheral. Vertical text notes the Mega Drive's endurance amidst economic challenges. This page discusses the arrival of Toys R Us in Japan and why it's creating such a buzz. The first store opened in Arakawa-oki, Ibaraki Prefecture, on December 23, attracting 600 people before opening. The main reasons for the excitement are the store's sheer size and the low prices. The article explains that Toys R Us is the world's largest toy retail chain, originating from America. Their method bypasses wholesalers and buys directly from manufacturers, which saves on fees and allows them to offer lower prices compared to traditional Japanese discount stores. The store stocks a vast quantity and variety of items, stacked high. The game section is highlighted, featuring various consoles and games. Unlike traditional stores, games are often sold at fixed prices, with less discounting compared to other toys. Toys R Us deals directly with manufacturers like Nintendo for hardware, though Sega reportedly still uses a wholesaler route. The page includes flowcharts illustrating the traditional distribution route: manufacturer greater than wholesaler greater than secondary wholesaler greater than retailer greater than consumer, versus the Toys R Us route: manufacturer greater than Toys R Us greater than consumer, explaining why prices are lower. The reviewer notes that having plenty of stock and low prices is ideal for the consumer. The images show the store opening crowd and a well-stocked game section featuring Sega hardware and cartridges. The next page continues the coverage of Toys R Us's arrival in Japan, focusing on the opening of the second store in Nara Prefecture, the first in the Kansai region. This store, like the first, replicates the exact format of ILS locations. An interesting point is the inclusion of an in-store amusement center, specifically a Sega High-Tech Land Sega fan, allowing visitors to enjoy games alongside shopping. The article explains, Toys R Us is an international entity, and its Japanese venture is a partnership with Japan McDonald's, with plans for aggressive expansion into suburban areas suitable for car access. Beyond toys, the stores stock a massive range of goods, from clothing and stationery to bicycles and daily items. For us gamers, the setup, particularly the game section, is highlighted as being identical to American Toys R Us stores. Photos reveal shelves stacked high with Sega Mega Drive cartridges, including classics like Columns, Phantasy Zone, and Global Defense, and even Master System titles such as Miracle Warriors and Rampage. The distinctive yellow US-style pricing tags are also used, underlining the direct implementation of their American retail model. This replication of the US Superstore concept, complete with arcade sections and a vast product range including games, is certainly making waves in Japan. This page delves into speculation about a mysterious new machine, an integrated Mega Drive and Mega CD console, a collaboration between Sega and Japan Victor. The article suggests this unit is planned for a spring release, even before the initial Mega CD launch hype has faded. The core concept appears to be adding enhanced AV capabilities, with strong speculation focusing on karaoke features, potentially utilizing the CD plus G format, and even including a microphone. The partnership strategy is explored, including how Japan Victor might leverage its established distribution routes. The estimated price for this combined unit is speculated to be in the 60,000 to 70,000 yen range. The page features concept art of the proposed console, including one with playback controls and a Super Mega CD logo, highlighting the potential multimedia focus. It's clear there's significant excitement and anticipation surrounding this potential new hardware announcement.
This page celebrates the completion of Shining Force, the legacy of great intention, known as Shining Darkness in Japan. The headline proudly announces the game's completion, with details that it shares the same price as the previous game, Shining in the Darkness, but boasts 1.5 times the capacity, coming in at a hefty 12 megs. The game was set to release on March 20th for 8,700 yen. The page features a photo of the development team celebrating in the Sonic meeting room, despite the absence of their president. Quotes from the team express excitement about the game's imminent release, acknowledging that debugging is still underway, but expressing happiness at being near the finish line. They recount the difficulties and emotions experienced during development. Adding a humorous touch, the page includes photos from the party itself, showing managing director Naito crashing the event, wearing a comical yogurt helmet, and the shy Mr. Tamaki, the character designer, participating indirectly via a small chick figure. The attendees list features the SF staff and key personnel from Developer Climax and Sonic, covering programming, graphics, character design, and progress management, highlighting the collaborative effort behind the game. This page features columns from key figures. Hiroshi Naito's "Here We Go" column discusses his recent experience revisiting the classic arcade game Xevious after acquiring the board, reflecting on the deep impression it made on him as a young programmer and noting his current skill level compared to back then. He also mentions he's already working on his next game, tentatively titled Go-Go Naito-kun, and includes photos of himself with gaming equipment and a computer setup. Following this, Professor Tagawa's Weekend Space Trip column delves into astronomical topics, specifically discussing near-Earth objects, referred to here as Earthgrazers, and referencing a close pass-by one in March 1989. This section includes an image of the book Frontiers, Collection of Space Mysteries, by Isaac Asimov. The page also includes a humorous section titled Apology Batarai, featuring a cartoon, indicating some contributors may be taking a break. An illustration for Shining Force is also shown, noted as the first one. Finally, the Sonitsu Mania section serves as a reader communication corner, encouraging readers to send in postcards and promising replies, with a note that mail for the Go-Go Naito-kun serial is also welcome. The Taguchi Suri Special Shura Place de Gao column provides a humorous glimpse into game development. It begins with staff complaints about lacking a sound programmer for Shining Force, referencing the previous page and the game itself. The column then critiques 24 game proposals, judging them and offering feedback. A cooking game proposal is rejected, and a baseball game, RPG, and shooting game are mentioned. Additionally, there's a This Month's Maxim section. A comic strip, Gekitotsu, by Gotamaro, presents cute animal characters in humorous situations, culminating in a dramatic panel hinting at a death struggle. The ending section focuses on the completion of a project, likely Shining Force. It highlights the team's arduous work, overnight dedication, and last-minute deadline finish. The column concludes by celebrating the staff's efforts and anticipating the game's release, ending with a call for Kanpai. This page is the second part of an article titled The Disappearance of the Adventurer, Exciting Story. This installment, subtitled Far North Star Part 2, continues the narrative of tragic Arctic exploration,
focusing on Sir John Franklin's ill-fated expedition. An illustration depicts a man in uniform, likely Franklin himself, and another shows two figures in Arctic gear. The article recounts Franklin's 1845 voyage into the Canadian Arctic in search of the Northwest Passage. After losing contact, numerous search parties were dispatched over the following years. Evidence later discovered painted a grim picture, suggesting the crew succumbed to the harsh conditions, scurvy, lead poisoning from canned food, and even cannibalism. The text highlights the extensive search efforts, noting that over 40 expeditions and 1,000 individuals were involved in mapping the complex waterways. Despite the tragedy, the search efforts indirectly contributed to the exploration of the region. The article concludes by mentioning that the Northwest Passage was eventually successfully navigated 60 years later by Roald Amundsen. This page features the Volume 12 installment of the Hyper-Technology series, titled The Invasion of Interactive Movies, focusing on the game Spaceship Warlock. The article, written by Agi Nibiyaku, defines an interactive movie as an entertainment story where player actions trigger screen reactions, progressing the narrative. While containing game elements, the article suggests it's not strictly a game, emphasizing scene progression and visual appeal over complex puzzles, making it accessible to a broader audience. The spotlighted game, Spaceship Warlock, is described as a landmark title in the genre, created by Reactor, founded by manga artist Mike Salins, and musician Joe Sparks. The article praises the game's impressive 3D graphics and animation, stating they are worth watching alone. The story is set in a future Earth where humanity is defeated by the Krull aliens. Gameplay involves seeking money and surviving encounters, potentially becoming a prisoner on a pirate ship led by Captain Hammer. Screenshots show detailed 3D environments, character dialogue scenes, and a frog-like alien character. The article notes the game originated on Macintosh and speculates on a potential Mega CD port, mentioning Joe Sparks is a fan of the Genesis version. The overall tone is positive, highlighting the immersive experience. This page features the SegaFile.com communication section, Act 5, which delves into the increasingly high hopes readers have for ports of Falcom's acclaimed games onto Sega platforms, particularly the Mega Drive and Mega CD. The overwhelming desire from fans is clear, with the compilation of porting requests showing YSI and 2 as the absolute top contender by a significant margin. Reader feedback highlights specific titles like Dinosaur, with hopes for Mega CD enhancements to improve elements like openings and endings. Other requests include Galactic Wars, Panorama Island, and fan favorite Popful Mail, with readers anticipating engine ports and new releases. The compiled chart provides a comprehensive look at the demand, listing numerous titles from the YS, Brandish, Dinosaur, Lord Monarch, Dragon Slayer, Legend of Heroes, Sorcerian, and Xanadu series, among others, demonstrating the depth of enthusiasm for Falcom's library on Sega hardware. The section also introduces the top 5 requested games, specifically showcasing YSI 2 and Brandish with screenshots and commentary. YSI 2's popularity, perhaps fueled by other platforms, is noted, while Brandish is highlighted as a highly anticipated title that hasn't seen many ports, fueling expectations, especially as it's a newer work. The article emphasizes that this column is actively receiving letters, and BeepMD is committed to conveying the reader's passion, teasing the potential for the first official SegaFile.com port. The page also includes illustrations, likely related to games like Dinosaur and Popful Mail, adding a visual touch to the reader feedback. This page continues the conversation about the SegaFile.com collaboration, featuring more reader feedback expressing their high hopes. Readers are keen on seeing Falcom's acclaimed titles ported to Sega platforms, particularly the Mega Drive and Mega CD. The letters highlight desires for games like Sorcerian and titles from the Dragon Slayer series, emphasizing the potential of the Mega CD for rich audio experiences in adventure games. Some readers specifically request original adventure titles from the collaboration, mentioning games like Azteca and Demon's Ring as examples. The page also showcases screenshots of several Falcom games relevant to the discussion. We see a battle scene from Dinosaur, the strategic map view of Lord Monarch, and a platforming section from Dragon Slayer IV, known internationally as Legacy of the Wizard. The accompanying text offers brief comments on these games, discussing their mechanics or status regarding ports. The magazine staff acknowledges the overwhelming response from readers and encourages even more feedback regarding their hopes for SegaFile.com's future releases, promising to share updates as soon as possible. This page features a segment titled Ukulele Ino's Dormifatalk. An interview with voice actress, lyricist, and singer Kikuko Inoue. Known for her roles like Kasumi Tendo in Ranma 1/2, Inoue discusses her work, including her role as Luna in the highly anticipated Mega CD title, Lunar, the Silver Star. The conversation touches upon the differences in voice acting for anime versus games, the importance of vocal health, and her experience writing lyrics and singing the main song for the Lunar Music CD. The page also presents the lyrics for the Lunar theme song, tentatively titled Sensitive Dream. We also hear from Takashi Kudo, who arranged the song for the music CD, explaining that he focused on arrangement rather than composition for this track. Images show the interview itself, a portrait of Kikuko Inoue, and a scene from the recording studio featuring singers, including Mayumi Sudo, capturing the energy of the session. This segment offers insight into the vocal and musical aspects of the ambitious Mega CD game. This page presents Elysia Dragoon Before Story Volume 2, titled The One Who Inherits the Dragon's Blood. It delves into the tragic origins of the protagonist, Elysia, detailing the awakening of evil, the expanding conflict, the clash of dragon knights, and the death of her father. Left alone, the young Elysia's cries resonate with the burden of saving the world. The segment introduces her awakening as a warrior destined to fulfill this fate. The text describes a vivid dream or memory, where Elysia witnesses her father's brutal demise amidst dark fog and scorching earth, his body pierced and tossed about, blood raining down on her. Crying out for it to stop, the vision vanishes, but the memory remains. She recalls hearing a mysterious man's voice in a hazy state, telling her she has inherited new blood and new life, like a strange incantation. Feeling suffocated, she wonders aloud, "Who am I?" but receives no answer. The current Elysia has memories, but lacks recollection of this time. The story concludes with the man lifting Elysia and presenting her at a temple, declaring her, "O one who draws the dragon's blood." From this moment, her destiny changes dramatically, as she becomes the sole warrior in the world to inherit the dragon's blood. The striking illustration depicts a chaotic battle scene, likely representing the events from her traumatic memory. This page continues the Elysia Dragoon Before Story Volume 2, delving further into the protagonist Elysia's tragic origins. The narrative depicts scenes following the death of Elysia's father, the Dragon Knight. Through dialogue and internal thoughts, we see Elysia grappling with her inherited power and purpose, acknowledging that while she may lack personal connections, she possesses a clear goal for living. The text also features reflections from a mysterious figure who seems to reconsider their understanding of Elysia's fallen father. The dramatic illustration shows Elysia, her father, and this mysterious character amidst swirling, monstrous forms, visually reinforcing the struggle against the evil forces that led to the Dragon Knight's demise and shaped Elysia's destiny. The section emphasizes the weight of Elysia's inheritance and the path set before her. This section of the Elysia Dragoon Before Story Volume 2 focuses on Elysia's origins after her father's death. Elysia receives her father's memories and power, including the revelation that he caused his own demise. He tasks her with sealing her power until needed and traveling to a location linked to a source of evil. The narrative highlights Elysia's struggle with her inherited abilities and purpose, acknowledging the path set before her. A mysterious figure reflects on Elysia's father. The story concludes with Elysia accepting her destiny and embarking on her journey with her companions, ready to face the unknown. This page contains a reader survey postcard for the magazine. It provides instructions on how to fill it out, asking readers to specify desired game ports to the Mega Drive and share their thoughts on the magazine. The survey itself is a marksheet-style questionnaire covering various aspects of the reader's profile and gaming habits. It asks for demographic information like gender, age, and occupation, details on the number of Mega Drive games owned, and which other gaming systems the reader possesses, listing various consoles and computers from the era. The survey also inquires about the gaming magazines read by the audience, and solicits feedback on specific articles within the current issue, asking which were found interesting or uninteresting. A question is posed regarding readers' opinions on the upcoming Super Famicom CD-ROM. The survey concludes with a request for readers to indicate the game they are most looking forward to buying from a numbered list of 75 titles. This extensive list includes anticipated games for multiple platforms beyond the Mega Drive, such as Sega CD and PC Engine, featuring titles like Stormlord, Shining Force, Shadow of the Beast, Uncharted Waters, Splatterhouse Part 2, Lemmings, Sim Earth, Dark Wizard, and Road Riot 4WD, covering a wide range of genres. This page is part 2 of the BeepMD Hot Menu, featuring a preview of the Sega Mega Drive game Elysia Dragoon. This unique title, set for release in late April, is presented as a beautiful girl shooting game, recommended even for players less familiar with the genre. The magazine highlights the game's innovative all-direction auto-aim thunderclap and the Option Monster (OPM) system as standout features, praising the controls as exceptionally smooth. The preview delves into the opening stage 11, describing it as a straightforward practice level designed to introduce players to the mechanics. Particular emphasis is placed on the power and utility of the auto-aiming thunderclap attack, noting its ability to clear large groups of enemies with ease. It also mentions that without a specific power-up, Elysia can only attack straight ahead. The option monsters, such as the fire dragon and boomerang lizard, are noted as being particularly useful companions, though the review wisely warns that they are not invincible and must be protected. Screenshots showcase the game's vibrant pixel art and action-packed gameplay, including a detailed look at one of the early boss-like mushroom enemies that attacks in stages. The page then transitions to the next section, leading the player towards stage 12. This page continues the preview of Elysia Dragoon, moving into Stage 12 and Stage 13. Stage 12 isn't characterized by overwhelmingly difficult enemies, but rather by the importance of discovering hidden power-up items scattered throughout the level. The magazine advises players to search diligently, as items can be found in seemingly invisible spots by jumping or locating concealed passages behind pillars. Powering up Elysia and her OPM companions is crucial here. This stage is described as a dungeon-like environment where slimes and enemies can appear unexpectedly. A screenshot shows the Stage 12 boss, a massive burning structure, which the text cryptically hints something might emerge from. The intensity increases in Stage 13, with more aggressive enemy attacks. A vital item is located at the far left of the upper portion of this map, which players are urged to acquire. Screenshots show the stage's architecture, including a section with pillars and a breakable entrance leading to a hidden room. The page then highlights two bosses for Stage 13. First, a Cyclops mid-boss, described as a rock-dropping brute, is shown with a warning to be cautious. Finally, the end-of-stage bosses, Maul and Marsh, appear as two dragon-like creatures. The magazine confidently states that powering up your OPMs, specifically the Boomerang Lizard and Fire Dragon, will make defeating them straightforward. Go to Stage 3. This page delves into the next stages of Elysia Dragoon, starting with Stage 2, a challenging swamp environment. While shorter than the first stage, it features mid-bosses and floating items high in the air that players must jump to collect. The stage boss is the water demon Gearvel, whose weak point is its mouth when it's open. Observing its attack patterns is key to victory here. Moving on to Stage 3, the setting shifts to a massive airship, and the difficulty noticeably increases. Carelessness can quickly lead to a game over due to rising enemy aggression. At the start, there are tough gun turrets that need to be destroyed methodically. The airship's interior is labyrinthine, but helpful arrows prevent you from getting lost. Crucially, exploring paths off the main route is recommended, as this is where important items are often hidden. Finally, Stage 4 presents a stark change of scenery, with a desolate rocky mountain. Enemies become more powerful and relentlessly pursue Elysia. Players must be extra vigilant with their HP, especially after powering up OPMs, to avoid untimely death. The stage boss here is the formidable, giant winged dragon Narrated, a creature that flaps its wings violently and unleashes fire breath. Watch out for smaller flying enemies in this stage too, as they are shown dropping rocks. This page dives deep into the challenging world of Shadow of the Beast, specifically tackling the terrifying deep cave level. Following up on the previous month's introduction, this guide provides a complete walkthrough starting from the left of the initial spawn point. The core strategy highlighted is the absolute necessity of memorizing the map, which is helpfully provided with a suggested route. The guide details crucial points within the level. The first tip focuses on defeating a unique fire-breathing monster. While seemingly invincible to direct attacks, observing its fire pattern allows you to get close enough to jump kick the silver jewel it holds. Destroying this jewel grants you the invaluable ability to fly. The second tip outlines the path to the boss after acquiring the jewel, noting the location of a key that is essential for progression. Finally, a secret warp zone is revealed, capable of instantly transporting you further into the stage upon contact, though it comes with a trippy screen distortion effect. Mastering the map and utilizing these tips are presented as the key to conquering this notoriously difficult area. This page continues the deep dive into Shadow of the Beast, focusing on the challenging second half of the deep cave level. It picks up where the previous guide left off, outlining the path to victory with specific tips. First up is the fight against the mid-boss, the climax of the first half, and the gateway to the second. As mentioned before, you'll need the flying ability acquired earlier. Simply use this new power to attack the boss repeatedly. Direct contact, however, means instant death, so be cautious. Next, you'll encounter a mysterious switch. While it doesn't cause any immediate visual change, flipping it down is crucial. The switch controls a barrier surrounding a vital yellow potion. If the switch is left up, touching this barrier results in instant death. Flipping the switch down removes this deadly obstacle, allowing access to the potion. Finally, the guide prepares you for the stage's final boss. A stern warning is issued. You absolutely cannot defeat this boss without first collecting the yellow potion. Once acquired, the potion grants you the ability to damage the boss, allowing you to proceed. The guide concludes by stating that mastering this stage is just the beginning of Dino's challenging adventure, promising even tougher levels ahead and encouraging readers to follow future guides. This page features a special interview with Sega executives discussing the company's plans for 1992, following a successful 1991. They highlight 1991 as the year the Mega Drive expanded its market share, particularly overseas, with the massive success of Sonic the Hedgehog, which significantly shifted the landscape in the US against Nintendo. For 1992, the focus is on the launch and growth of the Mega CD, with targets set for 4 million Mega Drive units, 500,000 Mega CD units, and 50 new software titles. The interview delves into the potential of the Mega CD and Sega's software strategy to leverage its capabilities, mentioning plans for peripherals like a karaoke unit. A screenshot of the acclaimed tactical RPG Shining Force is also featured, noted as a major release. This page continues the interview with Sega executives, delving deeper into their software strategy for 1992, focusing on how they plan to support both the traditional Mega Drive ROM cartridges and the new Mega CD. They emphasize a dual-pronged approach, aiming to release major titles on both platforms, with examples like the RPG Shining Force on ROM and Lunar on Mega CD being key releases for the year. The discussion covers expanding into various genres and reaching a wider audience. The interview then shifts to the Game Gear's strategy, indicating a focus on shorter, more casual games compared to the 16-bit Mega Drive titles. A notable example of their push into new markets is highlighted with the limited release of the Cockpit TV kit for the Game Gear, designed specifically for use in cars and sold in car accessory shops, illustrating their effort to diversify sales channels beyond standard game stores. The page features a screenshot of the RPG Lunar and images of the Game Gear Cockpit TV kit. This page kicks off the Mega CD press section, highlighting upcoming titles for the system, including Terraforming, Lunar, Dark Wizard, 3x3 Eyes, and more. The main feature is a fascinating interview with legendary visual futurist Sin Mead, known for his iconic work on films like Blade Runner. The interview focuses on his involvement in designing the visuals for the Mega CD game Terraforming. Mead discusses the challenges of translating his detailed design work to the pixel-based limitations of video games, comparing it to designing for film and theater. He found the process of creating biotech organic designs within these constraints to be a unique creative challenge. The game Terraforming is described as a horizontal scrolling shooter developed by Lightstaff, featuring stages like atmosphere, seabed, and orbital space. It incorporates themes like the Gaia hypothesis, where humanity seeks a new home after ruining Earth, and discovers the new planet has a consciousness. The page includes concept illustrations by Sid Mead for the game, showing futuristic structures and vehicles. Mead also offers brief thoughts on the design of the Mega CD hardware itself. This page continues the Mega CD press coverage, focusing on Seirei Shinseki Feiria, an upcoming RPG from Wolf Team, scheduled for a February 18th release. The article highlights the game's high overall completion and presentation, noting it makes good use of the Mega Creed's capabilities, making it a worthwhile experience even for those new to the system. It's described as an orthodox RPG, but with a lavish production. The page provides a look at some of the monsters encountered in the early game, showcasing pixel art for creatures like goblins, various spiders, beasts, and fighters. It then details the initial game progression, starting in Seldia Village, where players level up before venturing north to the Northern Cape. This area is the hideout of those who kidnapped Princess Junail, featuring common, early monsters. Further south lies the ancient fortress ruins, which poses a greater challenge, recommended for level 7 or higher, particularly due to a death spider. The fortress is also where the Shrine Knight Talfor is met, and specific magic scrolls can be found. Screenshots depict the village, the Northern Cape landscape, and sections within the fortress. A small side note briefly mentions opening visuals and a world at war, likely related to the game's theme. This page continues the journey through Feria, arriving at the magical city of Lanfale after leaving the fortress. The party follows the princess's trail, only to find she has apparently returned to a Biano castle. However, a soldier passes on a message from the princess, instructing them to investigate the Ring of Spirits at the Magic Academy. Upon visiting the academy, something seems amiss, particularly with the academy head. Further investigation reveals the academy head is suffering from a mysterious illness. To cure him, they need to find a Mikudot flower growing in the mountains southwest of the town.
The page also gives a quick rundown of services in Lanfale. The blacksmith can upgrade weapons for a fee, showing Leifel, Talfor, and Legion as the current party members. The item shop, tool shop, sells essential recovery items like potions and the magic harp. The magic shop offers various scrolls, including useful spells like Dat for escaping dungeons or towns. Venturing into the mountains to find the flower involves navigating a relatively straightforward path with some cliffs and bridges. New monsters like the fire beast and amber appear, noted as being strong, so leveling up before tackling this area is advised. The only significant item here is the Mikudot flower itself. A helpful one-point memo clarifies the game's death mechanics. There's no facility to revive fallen party members. However, death doesn't necessarily mean game over. If other party members survive, they can carry on, which is a crucial mechanic. The adventurers, following the princess's instructions, return to a Kano castle and are lauded by the king for their previous successes. They are tasked with investigating mysterious earthquakes plaguing the village of Amsolos. Gameplay mechanics like battle command resets and magic transfer are detailed. The journey to Amsolos reveals unsettling tremors and hints of unnatural causes, possibly magical interference or manipulation. A dramatic crack appears, escalating the danger.
Players can utilize the village shops for scrolls and magic items. Reporting back to the king, the party receives a new, potentially perilous mission, setting the stage for a confrontation with a powerful creature, signaling the adventure's ongoing narrative.
This page features Eislord, a new RPG from Wolf Team slated for a March 27th release on Crodrum. The page highlights the game's visual appeal, featuring character designs by the renowned Haruhiko Mikimoto, known for his work on anime like Macross. The reviewer is clearly impressed, even making a lighthearted comment about the abundance of attractive characters. The game's world, called Liud, is a fascinating blend of Arabian and medieval European fantasy, home to both benevolent gods and a system of dark gods. The article delves into the game's magic system, describing two main types, derived from the essence of things, and the spirits residing in all creation. A detailed history timeline is provided, outlining various ages from the creation myths through catastrophic events that shaped the world into its current state. Geography is also explored, focusing on Lensfeed Island, the main setting, part of a large archipelago. The island is described as a land blessed by gods, but also marked by ancient ruins and battle sites. The visuals are praised for their quality, with the reviewer confidently stating they surpass even Wolf Team's previous title, Ernest Evans. Screenshots showcase character portraits, exploration, and battle scenes, emphasizing the high production values made possible by the Caradrom format. It's clear the magazine sees this as a visually stunning RPG with a rich world history. This page continues the look at Eislord, focusing on the gameplay and supporting cast. It explains the core loop of the game, which alternates between 3D movement mode, described as a pipe connecting different areas, where random encounters occur, and room mode, where you investigate interiors to find items and trigger events. The article highlights the 3D movement visuals, especially how the perspective changes, and the environment scales as you move through the town, which gives a real sense of walking through the streets. Screenshots showcase the town view and interior locations like a weapon shop and a bar, emphasizing the detail in these areas. The page also introduces several of the supporting characters who help flesh out the world, including Huey Mekrom, Dosha Morgan, Remna Dinah, and Ohian Dish, along with Tishia Rorik and Kushana Matisa Karn. Finally, a key item, the Holy Sword Shalmar, is teased as the protagonist's weapon,
hinted to be more than just a simple blade. The magazine promises more details on the sword in the next issue. The next page delves into the highly anticipated RPG for the Mega CD, Lunar, the Silver Star. It introduces the game's world, a mix of magic and machinery filled with mystery, and highlights a significant event, the appearance of a gigantic enemy, and the unveiling of the map around Berg Village. A major focus of the article is the game's sound, taking full advantage of the Mega Drive's capabilities. It praises the high-level graphics and the exciting opening theme, comparing it favorably to TV anime. The battle music is described as cool and high-tempo, building tension, with 3 distinct tracks specifically for combat scenes. The article also notes the use of character voices in cutscenes, and mentions that characters like Luna and a dancer even perform songs within the game. The promise of an orchestral arrangement for the ending theme is particularly exciting. It's announced that a music CD for Lunar is already decided for release, with a recording report available elsewhere in the magazine. Screenshots display the battle system interface and sprites, showing character stats during combat. Other images feature beautiful pixel art scenes, including Luna and Alex by a lake, and various character portraits and group shots, hinting at the game's vibrant presentation. The anticipation for the software's release is palpable. This page dives deeper into the threats players will face in Lunar, the Silver Star, focusing on the main antagonist, the enigmatic Magic Emperor. He's described as a formidable foe who wields both powerful magic and advanced machinery, aiming to conquer the entire world of Lunar. The article highlights his expansionist ambitions, noting his reach extends even to peaceful villages and cities. We're also introduced to the sinister witch Zenobia, the leader of the demon race and the Magic Emperor's loyal right hand. She commands numerous demons and is responsible for much suffering. The demon race itself is portrayed as intelligent, cruel, and dangerous, sometimes appearing disguised as humans, demanding caution from players. The page showcases some early game enemies, including the quick, spear-wielding Piper demons summoned by Zenobia, and flying, sword-attacking gargoyles. It also reveals one of the mechanical threats, the tough steam tank, a combat machine utilizing caterpillar treads and firing projectiles. Interestingly, the article points out that these enemies are merely foot soldiers, hinting at significantly more powerful mid-bosses and final bosses awaiting players. An image also shows massive mechanical treads, described as part of the Emperor's dark ambition, underscoring the blend of magic and technology the heroes must overcome. This page presents a detailed map of the area surrounding Berg Village and Lunar, the Silver Star, providing guidance on key early locations. It features sections dedicated to the woodcutter's house, Berg Village itself, and the White Dragon Cave, along with relevant screenshots and character art. The woodcutter's house is highlighted due to a broken bridge leading to Saith Port Town, implying a quest to help the woodcutter. This section reinforces the RPG principle of assisting those in need. Berg Village is depicted as the starting point, where the protagonist, Alex, lives peacefully with his companions, Null, Luna, and Ramus. Surrounded by mountains, it's the launchpad for their upcoming adventure. The page includes a portrait of Ramus, the mayor's son. The White Dragon Cave is described as a large and challenging dungeon located near Berg. Monsters are prevalent, and the article advises players to fight bravely rather than run. A dramatic illustration features the White Dragon, noting its imminent appearance and the potential dangers involved. A smaller image also points out Goat Woods as a simple early dungeon. This page features an interview with the scenario writers of Lunar, the Silver Star, Kei Shigema, and Takashi Hineno. They discuss their collaborative process, noting Shigema handles the overall flow and more logical aspects, while Hineno focuses on atmosphere and witty dialogue. They highlight the massive volume of text, with over 20,000 lines and 7,000 messages for approximately 600 characters, emphasizing the effort put into making conversations feel natural and lively. The writers mention incorporating humor, and even some slightly risque jokes. Shigema points out Ramus's girlfriend as a memorable character, while Hineno found Rina particularly challenging but impactful, along with Galleon. They stress that the main goal was entertainment, and encourage players to immerse themselves in Lunar's world, paying attention to character interactions and relationships. A screenshot shows Alex and Null. The next issue preview teases the appearance of the powerful Magic Emperor, and indicates the game is expected to be released around the end of March. The upcoming issue promises detailed coverage of Lunar, the Silver Star, including the over 60 types of magic, the battle system, new enemies, towns, and a comprehensive feature This page is dedicated to the Mega CD simulation game, Tenka Tuitsu, Ayutachi no Hukao. It opens by discussing the game's ending and the goal of national unification, encouraging players to persevere. A significant portion focuses on the game's save system, warning players about the limited saving opportunities, only at the start of a season or before events, and the potential frustration of losing significant progress. It also criticizes the MegaDrive's single internal save slot, especially given the large game data, highlighting the need for a backup RAM cartridge. A screenshot shows a message indicating insufficient save space, illustrating this point. The page then delves into strategies for the Warlord scenario, building on a previous issue's coverage. It suggests starting with powerful daimyo before attempting weaker ones. Detailed strategic advice is provided for playing as Uesugi Kenshin and Hojo Ujiyasu, including specific castle objectives and military approaches. Tables listing the retainers and their stats for these daimyo are included, but summarized, rather than listed individually. A map shows the territories of the various daimyo in Japan during the spring of 1555, highlighting Oda Nobunaga's domain, whose basic stats are also listed. The reviewer seems to appreciate the strategic depth, but finds the save system limiting. This page provides further strategic guidance for the Mega CD simulation game, Tenka Tuitsu, Ayutachi no Hukao. It emphasizes the importance of using diplomacy and intrigue commands for achieving national unification without relying solely on brute force battles. The key is to utilize these commands to make smaller forces surrender rather than attacking them directly. Screenshots illustrate game events related to diplomacy, such as a message indicating deepening friendship with another daimyo, and intrigue, showing an attempt at assassination. The page also stresses preparing specific generals for different diplomatic tasks, such as presenting tribute or forming alliances with powerful lords. It highlights the satisfaction of making rivals surrender, noting that even powerful daimyo can be brought under control through this method, with screenshots showing surrender dialogue from famous figures. Strategic advice is given for starting a specific powerful daimyo, including Takeda Shingen, Oda Nobunaga, and Imagawa Yoshimoto, detailing their initial positions, key objectives, and recommended approaches to conquest and rival interactions. It notes the importance of targeting specific castles or rivals, depending on the chosen daimyo. This page continues the strategic guide for Tenka Tuitsu, Ayutachi no Hukao, focusing on the tactical hex battles and specific daimyo. It offers tips for engaging in combat, such as preparing your mindset for potentially costly battles, and prioritizing the enemy general. Advice includes waiting for better visibility in poor weather before attacking and understanding the influence of different battle formations shown in screenshots. The guide also suggests proactive retreat before battle begins to preserve morale, and forming a cavalry detachment to strategically corner enemy leaders, illustrated with troop composition options. The page then spotlights 3 specific daimyo: Asakura Yoshikage, noting his weaker starting position and key generals; Miyoshi Nagayoshi, highlighting his scattered provinces and the importance of strengthening castles and conquering Shikoku; and Mori Motonari, known for his capable generals but challenging positions surrounded by rivals, advising conquest of the Chugoku region and building a strong navy. Each spotlight includes a portrait of the daimyo and a list of their key generals and their stats, offering insight into their strengths and weaknesses. The next page continues the strategic guide for Tenka Tuitsu, Ayutachi no Hukao, suggesting different leaders to play as for varied experiences. It starts with Oda Nobunaga in the Tenka Fubu scenario, noting his dominant position, but also the potential for betrayal, especially from Akechi Mitsuhide, and suggesting focusing on conquering the West while relying on the Tokugawa alliance in the East. Separate sections highlight playing as Akechi Mitsuhide immediately after the Hanoji incident, a notoriously difficult survival challenge mirroring his historical fate. Another section covers Uesugi Kagekatsu in the Sekigahara scenario, part of the Western Army and facing a tough position, advising strategic alliances. The guide also spotlights the powerful Kyushu clans: Shimazu Takahisa, blessed with capable generals despite a small starting force, requiring careful expansion across the island, and Otomo Sorin, who faces challenges from both Mori and Shimazu and needs to build a strong navy. Finally, the page introduces anti-history play, a fun, unconventional approach for veteran players seeking new challenges after clearing the game. This involves attempting historically improbable feats, such as Oda Nobunaga allying with the Imagawa, or Tokugawa Ieyasu capturing and utilizing Ishida Mitsunari. This page continues the Tenka Tuitsu guide, highlighting specific daimyo playthroughs and suggesting unconventional, anti-history play challenges. This page dives into Dark Wizard, a strategy RPG for the Sega CD. The article immediately highlights the game's unique concept of time and darkness, emphasizing how effectively using time is crucial for survival. Unlike traditional RPGs, time passes with player actions like moving on the hexagonal map or resting, and this passage of time allows enemies to advance, creating tension. The game is described as blending simulation and RPG elements. While it's called an RPG, it incorporates strategic simulation aspects, particularly in town interactions. Instead of walking around, players navigate towns through a menu system, selecting locations like the inn to recover, or the item shop to buy supplies. A screenshot shows the interface for entering a shop and selecting items. Character art depicts Ahriman, the Dark God, ruler of the world of darkness, a key antagonist. The reviewer notes that this blend of genres, particularly the time system and menu-based town interactions, offers a different and potentially more strategic experience than standard RPGs. This page continues the discussion on the Sega CD titled Dark Wizard, detailing its hex-based map system. It explains that town and castle sizes are represented by the number of hexes they occupy, giving players a visual indicator. A key strategic element is that enemy movement is visible on this map, allowing for more calculated planning. The article notes that development is progressing well, and the game is incorporating animations, including battle scenes, which are possible thanks to the Mega CD hardware. The page then shifts focus to another anticipated Mega CD RPG, Seima Densetsu, 3x3 Eyes. Based on the popular manga and anime, the article highlights the excitement for its Mega CD release, particularly how it utilizes the system's buffer RAM to minimize data access times. This is seen as a significant improvement for RPGs, which are typically data-intensive, preventing the frequent interruptions common with earlier Crydrom titles. The game promises smooth animation and improved graphics, leveraging the CD format. Screenshots show a battle interface displaying character HP/MP and a menu, alongside character portraits for the main characters, Yakumo and Pai, who embark on a journey together. The reviewer comments that the game aims to offer a different experience than the original comic through these enhanced technical capabilities. This page features the upcoming Sega CD title, Robo Aleste, known as Denjin Aleste in Japan. The article highlights Compile's return to the acclaimed Aleste shooting game series, following their well-received M.U.H.A on the Genesis/Mega Drive. The game shifts the setting to a fictionalized Sengoku-era Japan. The story follows Denjin, ninja serving under Oda Nobunaga, who pilot powerful mechs against brainwashed warlords. The main character is the pilot of the titular Denjin Aleste mecha, utilizing ninja techniques and mechanical weapons. Screenshots show the game's vertical scrolling shooting gameplay, with pixel art graphics and boss battles. The article points out the game's unique round select feature, allowing players to choose which of the 8 stages to tackle next if they are adjacent. This adds a strategic layer to the game. It also praises the game's expected sound design, handled by Compile's composer Jay Tanaka, leveraging the MegaCreazy's audio capabilities. The reviewer anticipates the game's strong presentation and sound will appeal to a broad audience, not just dedicated shooting game fans. This page features the upcoming Mega CD adventure game, Detonator Organ from Hot B, scheduled for a late April release. Based on the popular video anime series, the game utilizes well-known voice actors from the original production, bringing the characters to life. The article provides a character introduction, showcasing the main cast including Tomoru, the protagonist, Yoko Mitsurugi, an ace EDV pilot, and Michi Kanzaki, a genius girl admired by Tomoru. The titular detonator organ mecha is also prominently displayed, with a note about how cool the enemy robots look too. Screenshots highlight the game's visual quality, which impressed the reviewer, appearing remarkably close to the anime itself. The interface shows standard adventure game commands like look, talk, action, and record. The article notes that adventure games are truly entering the CD era, and Organ is at the forefront. Additionally, a sidebar provides extra Mega CD news. CSK General Research Institute is confirmed to be releasing After Burner 2i. Developments include Nostalgia 2, which will feature a new setting and be in color, and Shieldwave is also mentioned. The Supergal's Panic project is currently on hold. Lastly, Sega's joint venture company Sims is reportedly working on a port of a popular quiz game from Skenic Company and an RPG for the Mega CD this year. More details on Sega topics are available on page 110.
This page is volume 11 of Hyper Sega, titled Adventure Surrounding Radmobile SV, Appearance of an Amazing Large-Scale AM Center. It continues a fictional narrative about a private detective searching for a rare Radmobile SV machine, only viewable at a specific time, alongside his assistant Eri. The main focus shifts to a massive new Sega arcade center that has opened in Shizuoka, named Sega Charlie 1. The article provides details on its location within a large leisure complex called Plaza Pia, describing it as a place where various amusement industries like bowling, billiards, and karaoke gather. Sega Charlie 1 itself is highlighted as occupying a significant portion of the second floor, and is described with unique styling, including a hotel corner and a themed mini amusement park area, featuring decorations like a carousel and hot air balloon. The images showcase the impressive scale and varied attractions within the arcade. The R360 motion simulator cabinet, running what appears to be Radmobile SV content, based on the title and description referencing European forests, is prominently featured, tying into the story's quest while showcasing the center's high-end offerings. Details like the address, access from the station, and business hours, 10 a.m. to midnight, are also provided for this impressive new Sega location. This page continues the Hyper Sega narrative from the previous volume. The detective is reflecting on his current situation, contrasting it with the ideal life, and is struggling with expenses. His assistant, Asheri, prompts him to contact Yamashita about overdue payments. He calls Yamashita at a weekly mansion in Takadanobaba, but Yamashita is unavailable. The My Investigation memo section introduces 5 young women, identified from left to right as Nami Hosozaka, 19, Kumiko Okuri, 20, Junko Hirai, 20, Chizuko Nishimiya, 21, and Yukako Shiratori, 20. When asked about their hobbies, they laughed and dodged the question. The narrative continues with the detective contacting Yamashita's family home in Osaka. Yamashita apologizes and mentions something about the Radmobile SV special version. He gives a specific date and time, suggesting a meeting to discuss the matter further, which causes the detective to hang up abruptly. The Sega Information Station section discusses the ongoing adventure surrounding Radmobile SV. It seems staff are finding the story's direction unpredictable and are being criticized. It asks readers for their predictions on what will happen next in the Hyper Sega story, specifically regarding finding the Radmobile SV machine, or if the adventure will shift focus. Readers can send their predictions on a postcard for a chance to win a Sonic jigsaw puzzle and a Sonic mug. This page delves into the world of the Terra Drive, Sega's PC-compatible system, highlighting a key game and introducing new software releases. The feature article focuses on Speedball 2, described as an authentic American sports game from Imageworks and Konami. This brutal futuristic sport involves not just scoring goals, but also physically attacking opponents, even the goalie, to gain possession. The game incorporates temporary power-ups to boost player stats and includes a useful replay feature to relive exciting moments. It notes that playing with a joystick is recommended over the keyboard for this fast-paced action. The article also compares it to Namco's Lethal Ball, pointing out Speedball 2's smaller field and fewer players, leading to a focus on quick attacks and passing, contrasting with the more melee-focused Lethal Ball. Screenshots showcase the game's VGA opening graphics and intense gameplay. The new software information section introduces 4 diverse titles. Best Play Baseball is presented as a baseball simulation where players manage a team. Available on PC platforms. Flight of the Intruder is a flight simulation based on a novel, offering 13 different missions with a cockpit view, confirmed to be based on the English version screens. Draken, an RPG previously covered, gets a spotlight for its Japanese localization, making its 3D world finally accessible to a wider audience on the DOS/Versus platform. Lastly, Jansei Toryumon 2 is a full-fledged 4-player mahjong game featuring famous professional players and a spectator mode, highlighted for its beautiful VGA graphics. This report examines the international PC landscape, with a focus on the US market and updates on the Sega Terra Drive. While CD-ROM technology faces challenges in Japan due to high costs and limited software on the PC-98, the US is thriving. Fierce competition in the IBM country has driven down prices for hardware and software, making CD-ROM drives increasingly standard. Multimedia PCs and CD-TV are gaining traction, though IBM dominates PC software sales. For gamers,
A PC Gamebook offers information on IBM PC games, including classics, and hardware like VGA graphics and sound cards. The Sega TerraDrive receives updates, including support for Sound Blaster and AdLib sound cards, and a setup service.
CD-ROM support is under review.
The report notes user interest in connecting the TerraDrive to the Mega CD. Finally, a telephone card giveaway is announced, and previous winners are listed. This page reviews Namco's Pocket Mahjong for the Game Gear, a title that steps outside the usual standard Mahjong format. While baseball and Mahjong are common staples, Pocket Mahjong offers a twist. Beyond the standard single-player free play against a roster of 11 characters and a communication mode for 2 players via cable, the game features a unique Mahjong Journey mode. This mode is described as a mini-quest, where players travel the country, playing Mahjong against different opponents and collecting special illusion tiles. The evaluation diamond chart shows solid scores across the board, including a 4 for a /versus presentation. The reviewer notes that the RPG elements are enjoyable, but the core gameplay loop of repeated Mahjong matches can feel a bit simple. The password system for continuing the quest is also mentioned as potentially problematic. Overall, it's presented as a well-made Mahjong game,
especially notable for its innovative quest mode.
This page previews 3 upcoming Gear games. Monster World 2, a port of Wonder Boy in Monster World, offers familiar action RPG gameplay with solid action, improved graphics, and animations. Hyper Pro Baseball 92, the sequel to the 91 version, features real baseball players and a new camera perspective from behind the catcher, altering the gameplay experience. Finally, Gyohwan Jiko, a Mahjong game based on the manga, faithfully recreates the source material with character appearances and a good gameplay tempo. This page presents Mega Cheat League Volume 23, offering various tips and tricks for popular Mega Drive games, suggesting these cheats are helpful after spending heavily on new releases. It covers Golden Axe 2, detailing a magic exploit allowing players to accumulate over 200 magic books by manipulating the bonus stage. Or The Revenge of Shinobi, a trick is shared to skip chapters by holding specific buttons on Controller 1 at the start of a stage. Super Fantasy Zone features a method to play with the classic Fantasy Zone background music by holding buttons at the title screen. F1 Triple Battle reveals a shortcut on the USA course through tire barriers. Finally, for a game involving bonus points, entering the password Mwaki grants 995 points, humorously noting this password was hinted at in a previous issue's developer message. Screenshots illustrate the magic effect in Golden Axe 2, the chapter skip screen in Shinobi, the title screen in Super Fantasy Zone, the shortcut in Free 1 Triple Battle, and the password entry and status screen in the bonus point game. This page features reader-submitted cheat codes for Sega games. Highlights include Task Force Harrier X's vertical screen and invincibility, Advanced Daisen Ryaku's carrier placement trick, Space Harrier's difficulty and extra life options, F1 Circus MD's sound test, and the most notable, Ariel's healer transformation into a powerful unit. The magazine offers prizes for submitted cheats, ranging from gift certificates to software, and provides submission guidelines. A brief mention of a Golden Axe 2 resurrection cheat from a previous page is also included. This page delves into the history and culture of video games through the eyes of author Yoichi Shibuya. It begins by positioning video games as a vital cultural phenomenon and reflects on their relatively recent emergence compared to human history. A significant portion of the article is dedicated to the crucial issue of preserving early video game artifacts, particularly arcade boards. The author highlights the challenge posed by manufacturers who often discard older hardware once it's no longer profitable, risking the loss of valuable historical items. Shibuya expresses a personal passion for these older games and the urgency of collecting and preserving them before they disappear entirely. He details efforts to gather vintage game boards and even mentions the ambitious idea of establishing a video game museum. The page features images of early game technology like CRT screens and circuit boards, alongside screenshots and photos of pioneering titles and hardware. Notably, there's a screenshot of Pong Doubles, the sequel to the groundbreaking Pong created by Nolan Bushnell after Computer Space. Early Japanese manufacturers like Sega and Taito are also discussed, mentioning their Pong clones, Pontron, and Elapong, respectively. The article also touches on Nakamura Seisakusho, now Namco, and their early arcade contributions like Woodpecker and the DAX vehicle game. The overall sentiment is a mix of nostalgia, appreciation for video game history, and concern for its preservation. This page continues the exploration of early TV game history. focusing on the significant impact of Atari's 1976 hit, Breakout, known in Japan as Block Kuzushi. The article traces the lineage back to the world's first commercial game, Computer Space, from 1971, and the groundbreaking Pong released in 1972 by Atari. It highlights Breakout as a crucial evolutionary step, differing from earlier mechanical games like pinball, by offering a deterministic design where skill ensured progress, a principle that influenced subsequent TV games. The text discusses the expansion of the genre after Pong, the rise of Block Kuzushi variations, and the eventual arrival of the legendary Space Invaders about a year after a popular Block Kuzushi variant titled Circus. Visuals include screenshots demonstrating the evolution of score displays in early block games, from 3 to 4 digits, and images of the circuit boards that powered these foundational titles, illustrating the hardware advancements. Diagrams showcase different game variations available via upgrade boards, reflecting the burgeoning customization options in the market. This page delves into the origins of video games, tracing their roots back to early electromechanical and gambling machines. It features images of classic machines, like the Bally Supercontinental slot machine and Konami's Piccadilly Circus redemption game, highlighting the amusement industry context from which video games emerged. The text discusses Nolan Bushnell, often called the father of TV games, and his pioneering work, including the creation of Computer Space in 1971. It highlights the immense impact of Atari's Pong from 1972, noting its legendary success and how the company name Atari itself relates to scoring a hit in the game of Go. Pong's success led to a boom in similar TV games. The article then explores the evolution into racing games, mentioning key titles like Atari's 1976 Night Driver, known for its groundbreaking first-person perspective, and Williams' Road Champion. It also covers Atari's Sprint 2, which introduced the use of a CPU, the Motorola 6502, to the genre, and featured an overhead view. Taito's highly successful Speed Race is noted for its multiple revisions and widespread influence. The page visually supports this narrative, with images of the circuit boards that powered these early arcade machines, demonstrating the foundational technology. This page continues the history of arcade games, covering early sports titles, technological advances like CPU boards, the evolution of block breaking, and the discovery of the 1976 shooting game Kamikaze. This page details the results of the Fastest One time trial competition, co-hosted by the BeepMD editorial department and Human. The national-level battle has concluded, with the winner announced. The competition ran since November and ended on January 8th. The top spot went to Takashi Ito from Osaka, with a time of 1 minute 18.731 seconds, notably defeating Human's own developer, Mr. Onosaki, who finished second. The page also features a humorous segment, highlighting the BeepMD team's disastrous performance. Their designated driver, Mega Driver Honda Baruno, managed a time of 1 minute 25.381 seconds, which was beaten by 42 readers, leading to jokes about potential dismissal. Overall, the level of competition among readers was incredibly high, particularly praised in the general review section. This suggests a high level of dedication and skill among the magazine's audience, playing Fastest One, a driving game on the Mega CD. Regarding prizes, aside from the main victory, one person who beat Human's Onosaki won a software prize, and 20 individuals received special Human towels. Finally, there's a news flash from Human, mentioning the success of this collaboration and teasing upcoming releases like Fire Pro Wrestling Gaiden and Alma, urging readers to keep an eye on their future titles. The page includes a screenshot from Fastest One, a photo of a potential prize, a picture of Honda Baruno in a humorous pose, and a photo from a Human Christmas event. This page is the reader giveaway section for the March 1992 issue of BeepMD, featuring several prizes for lucky readers. The main prizes include the opportunity for 30 winners to select their favorite Sega Mega Drive or Game Gear software title, released by the end of January 1992. There are also 3 copies of the Romance of the Three Kingdoms 2 card game, 3 sets of books from publisher Koei, and 10 special Stormlord survival knives. To enter, readers needed to use the provided postcard, attach a 41 yen stamp, and list their desired prize along with their details by March 7th. Winners would be announced in the April issue. The information section highlights the magazine's growing network, welcoming new partners, including overseas publications, and notes that the April issue will be released on Saturday, March 7th. There's also a contact number available during specific hours for magazine-related questions.
Finally, the page lists the extensive staff who contributed to the magazine's creation. This page is an advertisement for the action game Stormlord on the Mega Drive, highlighting its scheduled release in March and promoting it as a U.S. hit, finally arriving in Japan.
This page is an advertisement for the Mega Drive game Slime World, featuring a brave explorer battling grotesque slime creatures with the tagline, "It's melt, or be melted." This page is an advertisement showcasing several arcade hits brought to home consoles by Tengen. The main focus is on two upcoming Sega Mega Drive titles. Featured on the left is Road Blasters, promoted as the ultimate 3D car action game with high-speed scrolling and explosive shooting gameplay, scheduled for release on February 28th at a standard price of 6,800 yen. On the right, Pit Fighter is highlighted, described as a tough fighting game featuring digitized graphics, various attacks including weapons, and confirmed two-player versus capability. It is set to launch on March 27th for 7,800 yen. Below, the page also lists other popular Tengen games already available: Klax for the PC Engine, Hard Driven for the Mega Drive, and Magical Puzzle Popples for the Game Gear, noting their prices and appealing taglines like, "It's fun," and "It's addictive." This page is a vibrant advertisement announcing the impending release of Tengai Makyo 2, Manjimaru, known internationally as Far East of Eden 2, Zero, for the PC Engine Super Syndrome Squared. The artwork features the game's striking anime-styled main characters. It boasts the title as the strongest game software in history, and highlights that the game's music, composed by the renowned Joe Hisaishi, is finally arriving. The ad prominently displays the release date, February 1st. It also details exciting double bonuses for players, including a full-color character calendar with initial purchases, and a chance to win a desk case for the calendar via application. This is clearly a major title from Hudson Soft and Red, promising a grand adventure with top-tier music. This page is an advertisement for Micronet's strategy game, Ambition of Caesar 2, for the Sega Mega Drive, highlighting its real-time battles and flexible interface, announced as coming soon. This page is a vibrant advertisement for Micronet's strategic historical simulation, Ambition of Caesar 2, for the Sega Mega Drive. It features a striking illustration of a determined blonde man with piercing blue eyes, likely representing Caesar or a powerful Roman general. Below him unfolds a scene of ancient warfare, complete with Roman-like soldiers equipped with shields and spears, alongside a detailed depiction of a trireme ship, evoking grand historical battles. The bold red text on the side declares, "The footsteps of history are creeping closer," followed by the impactful tagline, "Now, a magnificent triumphal return." This ad builds excitement for the upcoming game, highlighting its focus on Caesar's triumphs and the epic scale of Roman history, following up on the announcement from the previous page. This page features a striking, detailed illustration of a powerful mecha, showcasing the visual style of an upcoming game for the Sega Mega Drive and Mega CD platforms. Published by Micronet, the artwork dominates the page, hinting at a futuristic setting and intense robot combat. The image focuses on the mecha's head and shoulder, emphasizing its robust design and weaponry, with the company's contact information present at the bottom. This is clearly a visual showcase, likely serving as a teaser or advertisement to build anticipation for Micronet's latest mech title. This page features the futuristic fighting game Heavy Nova for the Sega Mega CD, published by Micronet. The main objective in this title is singular: to win the deathmatch. The page highlights key gameplay elements, including navigating through levels filled with enemy traps to challenge and defeat the stage bosses, and the exciting option for two-player versus battles, showcasing a dynamic exchange of techniques between the robotic combatants. The game is advertised as currently on sale, with high praise, with a standard price listed. Heavy Nova offers intense mech-based action on the Mega CD platform. This page showcases a prominent feature for the Thunder Force series, a legendary name in the realm of shoot-'em-ups by Technosoft. The page features a dynamic illustration of a powerful space fighter, set against a swirling galaxy, a visual signature of the series. The bold yellow text announces "He," which translates to Thunder Force Startup. This isn't just any announcement, it signifies the beginning of a new chapter, or a major release for the franchise. Given Technosoft's pedigree and the likely time frame, this is almost certainly promoting one of the seminal Thunder Force titles for the Sega Mega Drive, such as Thunder Force 2 I or IV, games renowned for their intense action, incredible soundtracks, and cutting-edge graphics. The artwork itself hints at the sophisticated ship designs and cosmic battles players could expect. It's a clear declaration that the high-octane space combat of Thunder Force is here, ready for launch. This page features a prominent display for the pinball classic, Devil's Crush on the Mega Drive. The striking cover art dominates the page, showcasing the enigmatic face of a woman in a futuristic, almost demonic helmet, with a single tear of blood adding to the dark tone. The game is announced as, now on sale, for 6,800 yen. As any fan of the system knows, Devil's Crush is one of the absolute best pinball experiences available, renowned for its incredibly detailed, multi-screen tables with a distinct horror and fantasy theme. The page includes small screenshots offering a glimpse into these uniquely designed tables, filled with skulls, demons, and intricate pathways, promising the challenging and addictive gameplay the series is known for. Below, a section highlights the results of a high-score contest for the game, announcing winners who will receive a special gold telephone card as a prize. The Gals Club section confirms the high-score challenge has concluded, thanking participants. Devil's Crush, developed by Naxat Soft and Red and published by Technosoft, delivered a truly innovative and atmospheric pinball game unlike any other. This page showcases the highly anticipated Game Gear title, Wonder Boy: The Dragon's Trap. The vibrant artwork features the hero, Shanta, known as Bach in Japan, surrounded by various animal forms he can transform into, like the Hawkman, Mouseman, and Lionman, all facing off against a formidable dragon. The accompanying text highlights the game as the definitive adventure-action experience on the Game Gear, promising a curse-breaking quest for the protagonist, who must utilize his shape-shifting abilities to navigate the monster world. The game is described as being full of fun, with varied and comical gameplay. Wonder Boy: The Dragon's Trap for Game Gear is scheduled for release on March 27th, for 3,800 yen. Small screenshots provide a glimpse of the charming platforming and exploration gameplay fans of the series expect. The page also includes a general advertisement for the Sega Game Gear console itself, promoting its portability and the optional TV tuner accessory.